Hold on. I always gotta wipe this daggone camera off. Oh my gosh. Okay. That better? I hope so. Anyway, how are y'all doing today? Thank you to everybody who will be joining today's live. This was very spontaneous. Like, I literally just thought about this morning. You know, I knew I wanted to get on and do another Q&A with you guys. I just didn't know like what the basis of it would be, like, you know. And I don't know, I just feel like I need to open up. I got all the zodiac signs out for the week. I probably am gonna do it again. I might do another round before the week is over, and then what I'll do is I'll do love zodiac readings. Hi Taylor, welcome to the live. I'll do love updates for each of the signs, and then I'll go ahead and give you guys a weekend read, probably Thursday or Friday. So, but today, Wednesday, okay, we're going to talk about a few things. I'm going to try to answer any questions you guys may have. And of course, I'm going to give you guys some insight on my own experiences. Hey, Jasmine, thank you for coming. Like I told y'all, we smoking, okay? Anybody who watch me, you know, I love my marijuana, okay? And it's become something that I use to definitely connect to the Most High and my higher self. So that's what we about to do. We about to light up, okay, and have a very conscious conversation, because that's what I love to do. So I'm bringing y'all with me on this ride today, okay? So once I get comfortable, child, let me take this off. Hold on. I got my little snacky snack over here. I got some notes, you know, that I took. You say you take it with me, okay? All right, it's so hot. Oh my goodness. I put the window down. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, but I hope you guys have been good. I miss you guys so much. You know, I have been focusing more on just like getting the readings out, you know, not so much on like our live chit chats like we're used to, whatever. But, you know, I'm just taking a different direction with the channel. You know, I just want to step into teaching mode, you know, like that's something like since I moved, like God has just been pressing me out like, all right, girl, it's time. And you know what's funny? You guys know I channel through music. So I woke up this morning and I was hearing Keith Sweat right in the wrong way, but it was the part where he was like, you may be young, but you're ready. That part kept repeating over and over again. And I'm like, okay, y'all being funny. Like, yeah, you're ready for this. Hi, Hadiza. Welcome. Hadiza, you're actually part of the reason why I'm doing this today. You know, I reached out to you yesterday. I know you had a question for me, a couple questions for me, and I took that into account, you know, when thinking of doing this video. So thank you. And for anybody else, if you ever have any questions, email me or comment under one of the videos. I'll write it down and keep it in mind for any future videos I post, okay? So thank you. I'm so glad I pre-rolled this. It's hidden perfectly. Okay. But as you guys can see from the title of this video, it's called Hey the Bushes. It's called Becoming a Mystic Healer, right? Now, that label in itself is something that I've taken a long time to come to terms with, because just being in a world that is full of labels, you know what I'm saying? Try to put you in a box. You try to step out your comfort zone and do something else. They trying to label you as something, you know, instead of just saying, okay, this is who you are and I accept you, right? So I struggle with that on my journey, coming from being very religious, being raised in a Christian-based household, you know, and knowing that I was different, knowing that I was gifted and I was interested in certain things, but always fearing that, okay, if I research this, if I look into this, if I tap into this, oh, am I going to hell? Is this demonic? You know, like, is God never going to forgive me? Like, am I going to be forsaken? Like, it was just so nerve-wracking realizing that I was stepping away from something that I've been taught and known my entire life, right? But there was a quote that I saw the other day, and it was well, it wasn't really a quote, it was more of a saying, but it was a guy, and he was like, when you realize that everything that is around you was created by someone just like you, like, then that's when life starts to get easier and you can kind of take control of your own life. Like, everything that you see was created by someone who was a human just like you, who had to learn something just like you. It doesn't make anybody any bigger, better, smarter, faster, stronger. We are all here for a soul purpose, and whatever your purpose is, whatever your soul is calling you to do, follow it, okay? At the end of the day, don't let other people's projections of what they've learned and what they've been through stop you from following your own heart's desires. You get what I'm saying? Because that's all it is. It's just a projection. Christianity and religion is all a projection, right? But the one thing that we all come back to, the one thing that we all, no matter what religion you follow, is that there's always a one, right? There's always a source. There's always someone, something bigger than us that has the power to begin and end anything, to start and finish anything, right? So it's just acknowledging that we're in this world to coexist, not to tear each other down, to put each other in boxes, you know, to scrutinize, to judge, or anything like that. At the end of the day, my God, the God I know, the God I've learned to love and build a relationship with, he looks at the callings of your heart. He reads your heart. You know what I'm saying? He reads your soul. He reads your soul's intentions, right? He doesn't judge you or hold you accountable for the mistakes that you've made. He expects you to hold yourself accountable and then grow and learn from those mistakes, right? But he is a forgiving God, and he's a God, he's a father first, right? He's a father and mother. He's father and mother, right? He's masculine and feminine energy, and he will show up in your life as whatever energy or force you need to get you to where you need to go, okay? Let's really back. Let's really back, because I feel myself starting to channel. Let's really back. But yeah, that's what we getting ready to talk about today, okay? That's what we're talking about. What is a mystic? Spirituality, religion, and just this is my perspective. I want you guys to understand that this is my perspective. Do not take what I'm saying, and you know, you can take it, but take it with a grain of salt, because everybody's on their own journey. At the end of the day, I may feel one way and you may agree with me today and then disagree with me tomorrow. You get what I'm saying? So this is just a perspective, y'all, okay? But thank you guys for listening anyway. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Yeah, does anybody have any questions before I start rambling again? Any questions before I start rambling? It's hot. It's almost too hot to be smoking in this motherfucking car. Yeah, I was like, what the hell am I gonna name this? And I was like, becoming a mystic. Yeah. And I made sure to like look into it and like really understand like what a mystic is. And when I looked it up, and I was like, yep, this makes perfect sense. This is exactly where I belong, okay? Because I even had a point on this journey. I was like, am I a motherfucking gypsy or something? Like, what the fuck? Because it's just, I am led by the universe. I'm led by the cosmos. I'm led, when God tell me to move, I move. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care what somebody else got to say. I'm going to march to the beat of my own drum, and that drum is God, just period, right? And that's kind of like the energy of like a gypsy. But there's like a negative connotation that the world has placed on gypsies as well, that, oh, they move around so much because they're thieves. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, don't listen to what other people is telling you. Go and build your own understanding of that. Do your own research and knowledge. You know, I could sit here and tell you all day, oh, it's not demonic, you know, and it depends on your intentions with it and all that, whatever. But until you go and you seek for yourself your own knowledge and understanding, then you're pretty much living based off of somebody else's perspective and opinion. Build your own understanding. In you building your own understanding, that's also you getting closer to God. That's how you build a relationship through God. You have to seek knowledge. Okay, it's at our fingertips. It's all around us. Knowledge is all around us. right? And once you start seeking, you start to tap into a universal language that not too many people around you will understand. That's something that you will encounter. As for some of you who are transitioning from very like religious households and strict fear-stricken upbringings and things like that, you're gonna have to build the courage to let go of certain belief systems and also certain people who do not support this journey that you're getting on, right? Not everybody has the capacity to expand their horizons from a spiritual standpoint, right? Because think about how scary it is to release yourself from, you know, what you've known your entire existence, right? A lot of people seek an identity. They want to have an identity. A lot of people want a label, you know, because that makes them feel like they belong, right? When they set free and they let go of that identity that they've known or what's been projected onto them, it's like they feel like they're a lost soul. You know, you feel lost, you feel hopeless, you feel confused, you know, you feel like you don't have control. But that's the point of a spiritual journey. You're not supposed to have control. God takes control. God shows you what it is for you and what's destined for you, what's for you and what's not for you, people that are for you and not for you, habits that are for you and not for you. For you, okay? Religions tend to put people in groups, you know what I'm saying? We tend to lose our independence. We tend to lose, you know, what distincts us from the next person. Exactly. You trying to place yourself in a box and go the same path that the next person is going is keeping you from learning the lessons that you were here to learn, right? You're here to walk by faith, right? You're not here to walk by somebody else's instruction. God, you are the blueprint. It's already in your DNA. It's already instilled in your heart. The desires of your heart is your blueprint for this lifetime. But a lot of times we don't listen to it because we're too busy trying to please other people. We're too busy trying to look perfect. We're too busy trying to fit in. You weren't born to fit in, you were born to stand out. And each and every one of us walking this earth is different and unique in our own very special way. Just period. Just motherfucking period. And the point of this lifetime is to rediscover who you are. Remember who you are. Right? When we come down here, all of our memories of our past lives are wiped. Right? And we're here on an operating system. This is what you call the simulation. The matrix that's made here is created to keep us small. It's created to make us think that we're not gods and goddesses in training. You know, that we have to operate by their rule, their system. But it all plays a huge part in this as well, right? Is when you're able to step outside that box and say, I know you're testing me. I know this is just a simulation. I'm going to play along. I'm going to blend in and act like I'm going to act stupid, right? Because in reality, I know that I'm much bigger than this system. I know I can break free from these limiting beliefs. I can break free from what the government says I have to settle for. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's where manifestation comes in. When you learn that you have the power to manifest and morph and shape shift the life of your dreams, then that's when it becomes a problem, okay? That's when it becomes a problem to the world. When you set yourself free and you say, no, I'm a god, I'm a goddess too, you know? But it's the God in me that allows me to manifest the life of my dreams, right? See, I already know. He be setting me up. He be setting me up, yo. And the thing with me, I know that I'm a teacher. I know that that's what I'm here to do, you know, but myself coming from a background where I was silenced and, you know, I wasn't able to speak my truth. It's still something that I am growing from, right? I've already come so far and I'm so proud of myself, right, for finding my voice. But it's still something that I'm healing within my inner child, I guess you can say. Exactly. I was just having this conversation yesterday, Jasmine. Like the generational curses, so-called generational curses and chains that we are breaking, it simply starts with changing your lifestyle, changing your habits and your ways of thinking, right? So this has been a big topic like over the last week, you know, about health, right? It almost seems like there's a plague on society right now, and especially in minority communities when it comes to like diabetes, high cholesterol, cancer, all of these high risk like diseases in our bodies, you know, that are showing up in our families and our friends. It's like, I was like, oh my gosh, it seems like I'm being haunted by all these diseases, you know, disease in your body. Where does that start from? It starts from your root. It starts from your chakras. It starts from that cord, you know, that keeps you in balance, you know, that holds together the mind, body, spirit, and soul, right? So when those things are fractured, those things are out of balance, you are now manifesting a physical dis-ease in your body, you know, and it's not something that, I mean, most of them are not reversible, you know, so it's like being able to catch it before it happens to you, right? So for example, I think I've given you guys this example plenty of times. If someone is carrying some sort of resentment, you know, or jealousy or anger or bitterness in their heart, that may manifest in the form of a heart attack, or having, you know, high blood pressure, or, you know, strokes, or just different things, you know, will start to impact your body because it's all one, it's all connected. There's one cord connecting all parts of what make up you. You know what I'm saying? So if you're neglecting your body, this car that drives this soul that you are, then, I mean, it's only inevitable you're going to experience those things. And now that is in your DNA, something that's unreversible, you're going to pass that down to your children and your children's children. Instead, we could take it back. We can kind of take what's around us, make an observation and be like, okay, I know that this is something that has plagued my family for generations. What am I going to do differently to change the DNA code, to activate a new code for the new generation, the new bloodline that's being formed, right? Okay, I'm going to step away from this, you know, fatty, unhealthy lifestyle or way of living. I'm going to work out and do my best to eat from the earth and things like that, so I can now reprogram and recreate my genetic code, right? Even down to the way your body is shaped, y'all. Even down to the way your body is shaped. You can shape shift. I hope y'all know that. You can shape shift and manifest the body of your dreams just by changing your mindset and changing your lifestyle, just period. Right? So I'm gonna give y'all an example, and I don't even have kids yet, but I just know this, okay? Say, I mean, and sometimes you see it in certain families. So say your mom, I don't know, maybe, I don't know. So maybe your mom could have been like overly obese, right? And maybe she has a daughter or a child, and her child is actually really bony, really skinny, has a high metabolism, whatever. She might have gotten that genetic coding from her father's side, who's more slim, skinny, high metabolism. Why? Because they lived a different lifestyle from her mom's side, who was more obese and unhealthy and did not care for certain, you know, lifestyle changes and stuff like that, right? I mean, you see it all the time, right? So just imagine if both parents or both bloodlines decide to make a conscious effort to change. You're now setting up your children and your children's children to look different, to feel different, to think different, to operate different, right? Because you started with that genetic coding. You found out and you recognized what it was that was attacking and plaguing your family bloodline, right? And I know when we hear like attack, we think of like, you know, spiritual attacks. For us in the spiritual community, we think of something like, oh, it must be a hex or a curse on my family. Sometimes when you decide to surrender to certain toxic habits and patterns, the curse becomes you. You become the curse, you know, and that's what people don't understand. Breaking generational curses, it starts with you. It starts with you. Every time a new child is born into a bloodline, it's the opportunity to begin again, right? But we have elders and people in our families and our communities programming us to stay on one lane and one lane only, to never try anything new. You know what I'm saying? Like, It's become such an unhealthy thing now to where people are just accepting their fate. Okay, well, shit, diabetes got my ass. I guess it's my time to go. Like, no, no, it's your time to change. That's what this is. It's your time to change. Don't look at your surroundings and say, okay, I'm gonna end up just like them. That's just the way life goes. No. No, because there was a point in time where there were more people living way over 100 years old, healthy, strong, still able to be physically fit and flexible and shit like that. That's still possible. That is still possible, but we have to rebuild the bloodline. We have to rebuild these fucking bloodlines. And what I've been telling y'all, something is coming, okay? And I know we was getting on the mystic shit, but this is me being a mystic right now. I'm ministering, I'm teaching y'all something right now. Something is coming. And I had this conversation with God a couple of days ago. I was sitting in the park and I was paying attention to the trees, and I'm like, okay, why is it that, you know, it's a big ass park, but there were only about maybe 15 to 20 trees that had like leaves and flowers. They were fully blossomed, standing up strong. And I'm like, that's funny. And they're all grouped together, you know, like they're in their own like utopia, and then everything around it was dead. All of the trees around them were dead. And I noticed they were older trees, right? These were trees that were really tall, big. They had been, and their roots were huge, right? They were all dead and withered and dried up. And to me, what God was showing me, like, when you break a generational curse, right, that means that a generation has to be broken off for it to change, for it to heal, for it to evolve, right? Think of it like split ends. I think this is a perfect example. Think of it like split ends on your hair, right? In order for that hair, you know, that root to be strong, to be healthy, to grow, you have to cut off the split end, right? So where that divide happened, where that split happened in your family, in your bloodline, that's the bloodline, that's the generation that has to be cut off. So what you guys will notice, there are a lot of elders and people in your family that are going to fall sick, especially those who have played a part in stopping you. Whoever you are, there's always one chosen one amongst the family who is here to break that generational curse here, right? And if anybody in your family or close to you has played a part in slowing that process down for you, they're gonna go. They're gonna go. And I hate to say it, but it's true. It's just true. And there's something coming. All the split ends have to be cut off. There's something coming that's gonna cut all these split ends. And I'm telling y'all, that pandemic that hit, that was just the first wave. That was just the first wave. And I know it's a sensitive topic for a lot of people, but it's just truth, y'all. These, you know, situations, they're not happening for no reason. You got to understand there's constant spiritual warfare going on. And that spiritual warfare has to manifest physically, in the physical, right? So families are going to get smaller and smaller and smaller. They're going to become more intimate, right? A lot of people are being moved around right now. You're being forced to relocate, to move closer to family, right? Listen to that voice, listen to that intuition. If you're being called to move right now, you need to go. Not everything must go, right? Even you, motherfucker, you, okay? Like, get your shit together, okay? Don't worry about, get your shit together, okay? Because something is coming. I know I'm good. I know I'm right, you know, because at the end of the day, God gives me signs. And this is why I say I walk to the beat of my own drum, and that drum is God. You know, he gives me signs. He gives me direction, right? So when I say something is coming, I don't take that lightly. I'm not taking it lightly, you know, but I'm going to put myself in position to avoid it when it hit, okay? And I've been saying this since, this message has been coming up for me probably since October. And if you guys go back in my videos around October, that, I think it was the video specifically, they're showing it to me right now. I wrote in the title, Hide your kids, hide your wife, karma is coming, right? And in that video I said, y'all, I don't know what it is, but it just seemed like it's just like a black smoke just sweeping through households, like wiping people out, like karma's knocking on the door, coming in, wiping people out. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, like your ancestors, right, that are watching, they're in the rooms that you're not in, they're listening to the conversations you didn't hear. You know, there are a lot of things that you don't know and probably will never know, that your ancestors and the people that walk with you in spirit, they see everything. They see everything. They are your eyes, your ears, they are all of your senses, okay? When you're not in the room. So just trust and believe. When you start seeing people going through karma, dropping like flies, and experiencing certain shit, just know they did something. And they did something directed to you. Stay prayed up, okay? Stay prayed up, because what tends to happen on this journey, right? There are people that tend to take the higher road. You know, they want to go to the lighter side of things, and they're just here to learn, you know. And then you have people who decide to take it too far, you know. And it's like, it's almost like this is a type of journey you cannot come into it with the intentions to abuse your power. You know, you cannot come into it with ego. When you come into a spiritual journey, you have to come into it surrendering what you used to know. You have to surrender your identity, just period, right? And you have to just be. You know, it's like you're getting a fresh slate, a clean start. And there's a lot of people that are so-called getting on this spiritual journey and, you know, pretending to be spiritual teachers or whatever. And they're projecting their anger, their hate, their jealousy, their issues onto a lot of people, their viewers. And one thing that God told me as well when I was sitting in that park, he says, each person who has a YouTube channel has a tribe. You know, so when I say tribe, I'm not just saying that to give y'all a name. I mean it. You were called to my channel for a reason, right? That means we are spiritually connected and linked, right? It's almost like a coven of some kind. That's the word he used as well, coven. Each channel that is led by a spiritual teacher, right? That then becomes a coven. You are under a coven now. Now, it depends on the type of channel you're following, though. It's a reason why it's called a channel. YouTube channel, right? You're tuning in to a version of you that you have not met, but you're learning, right? You're learning from someone else's perspective. Why? Because your soul pulled you in. Right now, if you're going into, that's why I say, don't watch every fucking reader that pops up on your timeline. Do not, okay? Don't watch it, because a lot of them are projecting karmic energy into your life. Literally. And the karmic energy that they're projecting into your life are sometimes the things that they're going through currently. Right? And you got to understand, when you tap in and you subscribe to someone, you're now subscribing to their karma as well. You're subscribing to their energy. You're subscribing to their wavelength. So even me, you know, sometimes I find myself just scrolling, seeing these channels. You will literally feel yourself being like rejected from these channels or from certain readers. Me, I'm intuitive as fuck. I don't have to click on your video. I could just be scrolling, you know, that title in itself, or just seeing your face, it will like be repulsive to me. I'd be like, something wrong with her. Something wrong. Mind my business. I'ma just keep scrolling. Okay, something is off. Right? Even the ones that show up in the form of light and love and healing and all, it's just like, something is off about your spirit. Something is off about your spirit. You guys need to have discernment when it comes to people in your life, on these channels, on these platforms and stuff, because I'm telling you, there are a lot of walking spirits. There's a lot of zombies around this motherfucker, okay? Like, that's why you have to understand as well, you know. And me as a medium, I don't really, I identify with grief, but it doesn't settle for me. Like, it never settles in for me. And that's something I've always, ever since I was a child, like the death and things like that have just never, like, I don't know. It's never, I don't know how to feel about it, you know, because it, to me, it's like, all right, I'm going to see you later, motherfucker. I'm going to see you later. But I'm saying this because when I said that certain family members and friends and you will start to lose people, this is, you need to understand that when these people are being wiped out, what's being wiped out is the demonic spirits that are within them, right? These demonic energies that lurk, you know, in the spirit realm, they have to attach themselves to a vessel that is low vibrational enough for them to, you know, harness at the end of the day, for them to possess, right? So if you have a family member who, for some odd reason, you can never get close to them, right? It's always been rocky, always been shaky. That means that you and that person operate on a different wavelength. And on a soul level, you and that person are at war, right? That is your opposing, that is your enemy at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? And that is because there is something that is inside of them that is not of them. It's not even them anymore, right? So the people that are falling sick, they have been possessed, right? And just think, something that dark and that evil, of course, your body is going to shut down because it's not made to hold something like that, right? People are becoming zombies, right? The only reason why they're still standing is because there's a walk-in spirit that is keeping them upright. When that motherfucker leave, they gonna drop. When that spirit leaves their body, they're gonna drop. You're gonna see a lot. There's gonna be a lot of people losing their lives. Just period. And I feel it, yo. I feel it. It's gonna feel like a plague. Why? Because this spiritual warfare, the war has been won already, right? These demons are being wiped out, right? And when you think of demon, you may not think, oh, in the form of my mom or in the form of my sister or my brother or my neighbor. They're all around you, okay? They're all around you. They're walking spirits. Not everybody walking this plane has a soul. Understand that. Not everybody walking this plane has a soul. Okay? So I don't know. I don't know why that's so I understand why it's so important for you guys to know. You could see it in their eyes. Exactly. I had a conversation with someone at a bar one time, and he was like, well, how do you know? Like, how do you know you're in the presence of a soulless being? Right? And he knew. I told him, I said, I'm an intuitive, I'm a reader. He's like, how do you know? So I said, it's almost like radio static. When you scan their body, when you go to their eyes right here in this window right here, it's like nothing. It's like radio static. That's the best way that I could explain it. That's how I feel and I see it, when I'm experiencing these energies, right? When I was younger, I used to see it as black smoke. I would see literally like black smoke around these people. And when they would come near me, it would feel like I was suffocating. That's how I knew when I was younger. But now it's like I can look in someone's eyes and it just feels like static. It feels like static. It feels like a disconnect, Yeah, it's like what's the saying? Somebody's home, but the light's not on or something. The light's on, but nobody's home. That type of thing. Like, I know that you're physically talking to me. You look like a human being, but there's some disconnect there. Like, you don't have a soul. Like, something's off here. Right? Some of these people even seem a little robotic sometimes, and I mean, like, what the fuck, am I talking to a motherfucking AI robot or some shit? Right? Sometimes I walk into situations, because I'm very high Sag, I'm very like spontaneous, and I just do shit, you know what I'm saying? So I end up being in certain places at certain times, and God will take people around me and experiences and almost play it out like a movie. Right? And I honestly be feeling like I'm the fucking main character and everybody around me is here to test me, literally. Here to fucking test me, because when I walk in, say, an establishment or something like that, it's like I sit down and my spirit guides is like, okay, and scene, action. Like, like, what the fuck? And I'll be meeting like the oddest people, yo. the oddest people. Either I'm learning something from them, or I'm recognizing and I'm discerning, like, motherfucker, you ain't right. It's something off here, okay? Like, and you just, and I tell y'all, like, just go. Just go, randomly go somewhere that you've never been. You know, make sure you're safe, of course. But just watch how people will gravitate towards you like a fucking magnet. Like, it's like you don't have to do nothing. You don't have to say nothing. You don't have to ask no questions. It's like these motherfucker robots or zombies, they be activated and they just start coming at you, like, and want to know everything about you, trying to get information on you. Okay, where you from and what you do and like, the fuck, you undercover some shit? Why is you asking me so many motherfucking questions? Like, okay, and scene. Oh, she's here. She's here. Everybody gather along. Gather around. Gather around. Okay, you know your part. Okay, you're gonna ask her this question. You know, you're gonna give her this. It's just like, can y'all leave me the fuck alone? Can y'all leave me alone? Like, sometimes it will feel like you're being gang stalked, like you're being followed, quite literally. And I am not the only reader who has said that. Like, I follow a couple people that's like, look, I feel like I'm being fucking followed. I feel like people are fucking stalking me. Like, trying to find information out on me or something. Like, what the fuck? Is there a big sign on my motherfucking back that says, fuck with her? Like, y'all. And I know I'm laughing, but seriously, yo. And I feel like that's the reason why I move around so much. Why I move so much. And when I moved again, God was like, the reason why I have you moving so much is so that you're undetectable. So that you're undetectable, right? You got to understand, there are a lot of spiritual watchers out here, right? They know who is of that I am, okay? They know who the chosen people are. Don't think these motherfuckers, if they got access to your fucking social security number, they know everything about you, okay? You ain't nothing but a serial number to these niggas, okay? Right? And they play a very, very crucial part in trying to hinder you on this journey, right? There are people that are assigned to fucking slow you down, literally. And that's when we have our karmics that come in, right? These karmics, you know, they pick a side. On a soul level, they've picked a side, and they've picked the side to fuck with you. They've picked the side to kill, steal, and destroy and ruin everything for you, right? And they come in like an angel in the form of light. You know, you fall in love with this person, you share a life with this person, you have kids with this person, and then something changes. It's like a fucking switch, and it's like, okay, activate. Activate, right? But it ain't the Holy Spirit that's being activated in their ass. It's the motherfucking demons that was waiting for the perfect opportunity to take everything from you. They fuck with your money. They fuck with everything, right? You got to have a spirit of discernment, literally. And that's why I say, when you get close with God, it's like your navigation system is just different. You just operate different. God, it's like being close to God. He give you x-ray vision. He give you x-ray vision. You getting a new set of glasses. If y'all ever seen that like old movie back in the day, I know I got an old soul, and you know, I was raised by my grandmother, so we used to watch a lot of like VHS movies. And it was a VHS movie, specifically, I think it was literally called Alien or some shit. But in that movie, it was a construction worker, and he came across these like magical fucking glasses. It's been a long time since I saw the movie, but when he put the glasses on, he would see the aliens that were in people, right? And it's like, they're among us. Like in the movie, they kept saying they're among us, and he's like, what are you talking about? And he's someone who's like super conservative, you know, very worldly, you know, he's not into aliens and spirituality, all that shit. So when he put these motherfucking glasses on, his ass was going through. He said, hold the fuck up, wait a minute. You telling me these motherfuckers walk with us? You telling me that it's a fucking alien inside my coworker, and I didn't know it, and I work with this motherfucker every day? Yeah, when you get close to God, he gonna give you a new set of glasses, right? You're gonna find yourself cutting off certain individuals, detaching from certain people that bring you stress, you know, that want to take from you, that want to use you, that want to abuse you, you know, use you as an emotional punching bag, all types of shit. He's going to give you a new set of glasses, and what he'll do is distance you from these people. He'll have you move, he'll have you relocate so you can get a new perspective, right? You can't heal from something that's in your face every day. Yeah. Okay, so you found it, Monet. Yeah, watch that movie and you guys will get a perfect understanding of what this message is, you know, today. This wasn't even supposed to be the intended message, but this is what the fuck's coming out right now, right? But I feel like I need a little break, so I'm gonna take a little intermission, okay? I'm gonna take a little intermission and hit my J. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask now. But again, I did not expect the conversation to kind of take this turn. I didn't, you know, just I prayed before I got on here and I was just like, look, you know, Yeshua, you know, my spirit guides, my guardian angels, just take over. Just take over whatever the collective needs to hear and be aware of today. Just take over, okay? So that's what's happening, you know. But thank you guys for, you know, having an open mind. Half the time I don't even know what the fuck I be saying. I don't. But when I go back and I play it back and I'm like, oh shit. Oh shit. But that's me channeling, you know, like I'm not always here, you know, when I'm speaking to you guys. There's another, you know, energy that is teaching, that is guiding, you know, because I'm the mystic, you know, I'm one with the cosmos and with you know, source and stuff like that. So anytime I'm on here talking to you guys, I'm now surrendering my vessel so that you guys can get the message that you need to put you in alignment to where you need to be, right? So that's what I'm saying when you guys are coming across certain readers and teachers, you know, be able to discern, you know, because not everybody has the Holy Spirit within them. You know, not everybody has that connection with source. Not everybody has access to Akashic knowledge. You have to be initiated into that, you know? And I think I wrote that down. That's crazy. When I was writing my notes. All right, so let's just go over it, right? What is a mystic? Okay, so this is what I wrote down. If I could fucking read it. It says a mystic transcends ordinary human basic knowledge, right? And I put some of my own little notes into it, you know, but basic human knowledge. What is that? Reading, writing, math, arithmetic, you know, that type of thing, outside of what the fuck you go to school for. You know, like a mystic decides to seek higher learning, higher knowledge. That is not something that you can be taught in school, right? They act as a priestess or high priestess, right? A social worker, friend, advisor, psychologist, or psychiatrist. They're a philanthropist, and they seek refuge in the transcendent realm of the supernatural world, right? These are people who are open-minded and unusually courageous. Why? Because they're led by spirit, you know? Allowing yourself to let go of your identity and just being a mystic is someone who is in a union with who they consider the one, right? So your one may be different from my one. In my case, my one is Most High. It's God, okay? Just period, right? To other people, you might, you know, worship something else, or, you know, something else may call you, you know what I'm saying? Call your attention. Whatever your one is, that's your one, and that's what you abide by. There is no like laws or restrictions or religions that are going to keep you from severing that tie with your one, okay? There's nothing or no one that can separate you from that relationship with your one, okay? That's part of being a mystic as well. But for me personally, I tend to integrate my relationship with God with my like desire to learn about the spiritual world and shit like that, like the cosmos and shit. Like I feel like I'm just multi-dimensional when it comes to my learning, and when it comes to this spiritual journey. Like I'm open-minded about a lot of things, you know, so I try not to put a cap on it, you know, but I just kind of go with the flow of what God needs me to learn in that point in time of my journey. You know, so one moment I might be fucking studying I don't know. I might be studying herbalism one moment, and then I might be studying astrology in another moment. I might be studying Hinduism the next moment. You know, I might be looking into Kemetic spirituality the next moment. You know, like, just don't limit yourself, okay? Because you never know, like, where you find that Akashic knowledge. You know, what's for you. Knowledge is endless, right? Knowledge is endless, right? It's a universal language that goes on and on and on for eternity, right? And it's made up in numbers as well. If you do your research, like, everything that we know and see, everything that exists started with a number, right? And this is where angel numbers come in, because that is the only way that these high vibrational beings can get our attention. Why? Because we identify with numbers. If you think everything that we've created, everything that is us, everything that we live and breathe involves numbers in some way, shape, or form, you know, and that's why the basic human knowledge is reading, writing, math, and arithmetic, right? Those are the basic essential tools that we need to operate and function as a human being in this world, right? So what are the angels going to do? They're going to point out, and they're going to do different little shit to appeal to what is common for us, what's familiar to us, right? So a lot of you who are being called on this journey, you're going to see a lot of angel numbers for sure. That's going to be one of the things that you, right off the back, 1111. Oh my gosh, why am I seeing 1111 so fucking much? Knowledge. Yeah, for sure. We gotta get back to prayer, you know, and not the prayer, you know, prayer is prayer, but excuse me, not the prayer that we've been taught through like religious views and stuff like that. Because my relationship with God and the way that I pray has definitely changed since my beliefs have changed. The way that I pray, I talk to him like he's my best fucking friend, literally. I talk to God like he is my best friend, because he is. You know, he's my best friend. He's my teacher. He's my mentor. He's my guide. You know, he's my father. He's my mother. You know, he's whatever I need him to be in that moment in time. You know, and he'll speak to me and communicate with me in a way that I understand and that he knows me best to understand, right? He know you inside and out. You can't motherfucking hide it. The fuck? You can't motherfucking hide it, you know? Just like he knew before I came down I was gonna be a weed smoker. Like, okay, yeah, yeah, this is her thing. This is what she does. Okay, you know, it's now having, when you find yourself like enjoying and indulging in certain things, of course, things that are not, well, in my opinion, this is not toxic, you know. I know all the motherfucking monks and teachers and gurus of just life in existence period and smoke some weed at some point or another, okay? This comes from the motherfucking earth, and this is not up for debate, okay? We can have a discussion about this a whole nother fucking day, but trust me, there is no wrong in smoking some fucking weed, okay? And I'm just leave it at that. There's no wrong in it. I feel closer to God, okay, when I'm high, right? And I use it in my shadow work. I use it in my prayer. I use it like to connect with him, literally. Like, even when smoking, like, you have to go into it with the right intentions too. You have to go into it with the pure heart, you know, a pure spirit. You know, not everybody, if you notice, not everybody who smokes can smoke. It's a lot of people that get freaked out and paranoid, and, you know, their soul rejects it. You know, it's because it's a lot of people don't operate on that vibration either, you know. There's a lot of people that are doing marijuana and shit like that. Exactly, another tool to be used. There's a lot of people that's doing marijuana and they don't even match the vibration of what it is that they're smoking, because this herb, because it's an herb, this herb was created with an intention as well, right? And a lot of the times, people who aren't of a high vibration, and you're tapping into this, you know, with the wrong intentions and shit like that, it tends to become something that overtakes you, right? It becomes something that is now a drug, right? It's now abusing your spirit and your soul, and is breaking you down, right? Because you weren't using it as a form to lift you up. If you get what I'm saying, and not lift you up like, oh, I'm trying to be high, but lift you up in a sense to get closer to God and to be enlightened, You know what I'm saying? Like, I respect people who smoke because they truly enjoy tapping into a higher consciousness. Me being one of those people. Like, that's why I love this shit. That's why I do this, because I love hearing God's voice. I do. I really do. And I hear it on a daily. You know, I don't need weed to hear his voice or whatever, but it's like, when I need answers, I know I can hit a J and get them answers real fast, okay? Yeah, like, you don't go in, oh, I'm a smoke because I'm pissed off, I'm mad, or I'm stressed out. You don't do it. Nah. Weed is a happy herb. It's a happy herb, and treat it as such, okay? It's a herb for enlightenment and truth, you know, and healing as well. You know, marijuana is very healing. It's very good for your body and shit like that. And like I said, this is just my perspective. There are a lot of like spiritual healers and teachers that are against smoking weed. You know what I'm saying? Shit, whatever floats your motherfucking boat, floats your motherfucking boat. Like I said, not everybody is made for this shit, okay? You know, I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. This was just a part of my soul contract. This was written in my blueprint. Kalia will be smoking weed, okay? Right? Like, it's not for everybody, okay? Maybe last lifetime you smoked some weed, but this lifetime you can't, okay? It is what it is. Don't be mad at me. Don't hate the player, hate the game, okay? You know, take it up with God. Ask him to add it to your blueprint so you can stop being paranoid and shit when you hit the J, okay? Yo, I don't even have an ash, y'all. I need to get the ones that sit in a cup holder, because this is bad. But what was I saying, y'all? How do we get on the topic of weed? Anyway, I mean, that was pretty much it. Oh, no, there's another part. I wrote, so basically you become like initiated as like a mystic healer through repetition of like seeking direct communication with the divine, you know, being in that state of spiritual ecstasy, aka channeling, right? Well, when you do that over and over and over again, it's like being like reprogrammed. It's almost, it's like an you expect to get into that type of state of consciousness, you know, at a certain point when you are seeking knowledge and you're trying to communicate with God and stuff like that. And you know, that is also a big part of being like a genuine reader as well. Like I tell you guys, these tarot cards and stuff like that, I use them for the images. I use tarot cards because I love the artwork. You know, I'm a big like art enthusiast and shit, so I love to look at the graphics and feel the energies of the cards, because even though tarot itself, it began with someone else's story, right? Someone took their story, their karmic lessons, their experience on earth, and they put it into pictures, and they put it into a storyline that could be told and can be can resonate with a lot of people, right? It starts with the full energy, right? And it gradually, you see this person evolve from, you know, the fool to these different courts of kings and queens and pages and knights and shit. These, you gotta understand, each and every card represents a perspective of someone who once lived here and experienced this lifetime, and they put it in an image, they put it in graphics and designs that will resonate with the callings of your soul, right? So these cards, they do have energies and they do have personalities of their own, you know. People who create tarot cards, they're basically just reiterating their own experiences and, you know, kind of creating their own rendition of what life is and what it should be, pretty much. It's a perspective, right? So when a card is flipped over, right? So if I'm shuffling, and a card flips, right? It's an energetic core. It's a pull from the universe that is directly linked to almost like a, what's the best way I can put it? It's like each card has a code. Each card has a lettering. It has like a a language to it. You know what I'm saying? So if you're coming in, you're like, okay, I want to love reading, you know, now you've already set the intention. So the universe and the cosmos are now going to direct that chord, and it's going to flip on that card that resonates with that question that you asked, right? That card. So you might say, okay, what's going on in my love life? It's taking your energy, your subconscious energy, what's in your subconscious, what's in your heart, and is now connecting it with the language of that card. I hope this is making sense, y'all. Is now connecting it with the energy of that card, right? So if you're coming into it and say you just went through a heartbreak, right? Your energy, your vibration is now pulling on the vibration of the card that matches that. So if you experienced a heartbreak, and this is where the definitions of the cards come in. So if you're experiencing a heartbreak and you ask a question, that reader now is now sending that request. Okay, universe, what's going on with such and such? What's going on with this situation? The universe sends it and sends it back down and flips that card over. And that card might be the Three of Swords, right? And I'm like, okay, tell me more. What's going on? Another card might flip over. It might be the Five of Cups. Another card might flip over, Five of Pentacles, right? And now I'm me as the reader, because I understand the universal language. I can now translate to you what they're saying to you. Okay, you left this situation. You broke away from this because it was a burden on your heart and this person was not treating you right. Right? And me, I tend to read backwards. I read the end and I go backwards to the beginning. That's how I read cards, right? I read the end of the story and I work backwards, like, okay, how did we get to this outcome? So I hope this makes sense, y'all. It's something that even me, I'm still studying. You know, I think it's like super cool. I think it's cool as shit, honestly. How like tarot works and stuff like that. Like when I started to understand, like, this shit is more metaphysical than anything, you know, like it's like the universe, the cosmos, the stars, everything is aligned. Everything goes into like reading tarot and stuff like that. Like it's not just cards with pictures and spirits talking to you. No, you have to be in alignment to receive certain knowledge, you know. And a lot of the times it's a lot of chosen ones that are capable of tapping into that Akashic knowledge too, because chosen ones, it doesn't mean that, okay, you just get the greener grass, you know, you get greener grass than everybody else. It doesn't mean that. It means you get the worst shit. You go through the worst shit, you know what I'm saying? You go through a lot of karmic lessons. You experience a lot of karma. Why? Because you have to be a teacher. You have to teach. You have to, you know, share your experiences with people so they can now walk a different walk, right? As a chosen one, you are directly linked to the bloodline of Yeshua, who once walked this earth and was also a mystic healer, also a mystic teacher. He was just the first of our kind. That's what y'all don't get. Yeshua was the first of our kind to teach mystic healing. Okay? No, I'm not doing any readings today, Hadiza. But it's just amazing. And that's what you call Christ consciousness, right? The chosen ones have Christ consciousness. Their karmic path is here to walk that Yeshua walked when he was here, right? And here comes the world, and you know how they say that Christianity and stuff is for pagans and stuff like that, like they tried to come in and put their own spin on it, you know. They tried to dress Jesus up and say, okay, this is what he looked like, and this is what he did, and this is the way, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, no, he was a mystic just like us. He was just one of the first. You know, his job was to come down and teach us the moral and values and integrity, you know, and the instruction of the universe, to remind us we're not just human beings. We are soul beings walking on this earth in this body, and we have a purpose. Each and every one of us have a purpose. But let me give you some instructions, you know, that's going to get you closer to God so that you can walk this path, walk this purpose, you know. And it's like, yes, be the example. He was here to be a leading example, and he was one of many many like ascended masters and gurus and teachers. Even today, there are teachers and mystics and gurus that look like regular people, and young and old, you know, that are in these vessels. There are a lot of old souls, you know, walking among us that have a lot of like ancient wisdom and knowledge, and I know I'm one of them, you know, and that's why he be getting on me. He be getting on me like, good, listen, it's your time. Stop, cut the bullshit. It's your time, you know. And I'm just like, but me, little old me. Hadiza, don't feel lonely, girl. You know, you're not alone in this journey. Nobody is. You know, we all are on the same motherfucker. If you have a beating heart in your body, you know, then that means that in some way, shape, or form, we've shared some type of experience, you know, whether in this lifetime or another. Okay? Like, because we are still part of something so much bigger than ourselves. Us human beings, we're very selfish. We're very fucking selfish, right? We don't give gratitude to the motherfucking trees and the air and the birds and the ground beneath us that keep us walking a straight line. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's bigger than us, but it's just some shit we ain't supposed to know too. It's some shit that we ain't supposed to tap into either, you know. And that's why you have people who are initiated, some people who are assigned to be teachers and healers, you know. They're assigned to seek this universal knowledge, you know, so that the people who are led astray, remember we did that that analogy about the flock, about the lambs. Yeah, and all of that, like the sheep, you know, the way that we lead sheep, like God picks what do you call it, what do you call them, shepherds. You know, God handpicks shepherds to walk on this earth, you know, and lead the pack, be a leading example, rear the sheep away from trouble, you know. And the way that they do that is by teaching from their own experiences, and also developing a higher connection and relationship with God that is beyond the human experience, if that makes sense. Y'all, I tell y'all, I got so much wisdom in me. I need to go ahead and write a book. You know, I be bullshitting, but it's still like a small little inkling in me that's just like, you of all people. You know, but that's a part of the journey. You know, I'm working on building up my confidence to, you know, just step fully into my purpose. I'm already in it, but you know, I still feel like I got like a pinky toe holding on to the edge of that cliff. And I feel like I'm at a point in my life right now where it's like my spirit guide is getting ready to just push me off that motherfucker if I don't go myself. Yo, when I tell y'all, they be cussing me out, you know. But everything happens in perfect timing. And what I'm starting to understand is, I think I've underestimated my connection with Source. You know, I think I've underestimated it for too long now, because I'm realizing even when I think that I'm delayed, I'm on time. Like, you hear that bird? Even when I think that I'm delayed, even when I think I'm making a mistake, even when I think I fucked up, you know, and I'm like shameful and I'm blaming myself and I'm being hard on myself, I'm still in perfect alignment. It's like my timing is fucking impeccable. Impeccable. Like, I be going through these motherfucking karmic lessons like it ain't nobody's business, yo. It's like sometimes they don't even get the chance to play the fuck out. And what God will do, he'll give me a dream or something to show me like, yeah, that person was supposed to be a karmic lesson, but you just disregarded. You just blew past them. You just blew right past that karmic lesson. I didn't even have to bring them in. And I'm like, wow, you telling me I had a past life with that person? and this is what I went through with them, and this is why I met them again in this lifetime, because I was supposed to repeat the same cycle, but I rejected it because I've elevated. What? I've ascended. What? Like, it'd be mind-blowing to me. It'd be mind-blowing to me. Like, not today, Satan. Not today, you know? Maybe next motherfucking lifetime, but this lifetime I ain't dealing with the bullshit. Like, I just feel like I'm on that type time this time around. Like, it's personal. Like, I'm coming back for blood. It's personal, yo. And it's personal because I want to set my bloodline up for success. Just period. Like, fuck all that wasting time, fuck all the bullshit, whatever. I'm gonna do what I need to do to be a morally right person and to listen to the instructions that God has given me, the obedience, right? And I plan to instill the same courage, you know, and just higher wisdom and knowledge and awareness in my kids, you know, changing the whole trajectory of everything, like rebuilding the family tree, that type of thing, you know. And I'm realizing just the impact that I'm making on the people around me, like going from a place where I was so ashamed to be who I am to now being around people that I love and in my friend groups and my circles, and sometimes even attracting certain strangers who possess the same qualities as me or the same interests, you know. Like, it's like we all in a motherfucking book club or some shit now. Like, it's a whole village or some shit, you know. It's like when you see a motherfucker with motherfucking bracelets on and shit, it's like, ooh, we got one, it's another one. Oh my gosh, they're one of us. They're one of us. It's like these damn bracelets and crystals and shit, these evil eyes and shit. Oh, they're one of us. Right? But I'm noticing there's people that at some point judged my journey that is now one of us, okay? They're now one of us. They've now awakened. Why? Because they were in the presence of somebody who owned it, okay? I'm owning my shit, and I'm happy to be who I am. I'm happy to be in my purpose, you know, and I'm happy to be a positive leading example for this spiritual journey, you know, because the world has painted it to be so dark, and it can be. It can be, depending on what side of the fence you choose, you know, but I'm going to choose the light every time. You know, I'm going to choose the light every time. I know I'm a walking earth angel, just period, you know. And me here is just remembering, you know, everything that I've been through, everything that I've accomplished in every lifetime before this one. Everyone has their own journey, just period. Everyone has their own journey. And the people that are for you, the people that are in your soul tribe, you're going to come across them. You know, you're going to meet them. It's inevitable. It is inevitable, right? God will relocate you, will move you around. That's why I'm like, don't ever be afraid to move. Don't. Because you could be missing out on meeting your soul sister, right? We have family. You got to understand, being on this spiritual journey, you're going to build bonds and relationships and family with people who aren't of your same bloodline, you know, who are not from, you know, the same womb or whatever. Like, blood is not always thicker than water, you know what I'm saying? So on this journey, I've learned just through my experiences and me moving around and God listening, you know, when he gives me instruction. I've met some wonderful, wonderful people. It's like complete strangers, and I'm like, why does it feel like I've known you before? Because I have. Why does it feel like you're family to me? Because you are. You know, like having conversations with people, like I've known them for years, like my whole life, you know. And some of those connections are long lasting, and then some of them are temporary. You're just supposed to meet them, you know, to reconnect in some way, shape, or form, because whether near or far, now you and that person are protected. You know, it's like something has been sealed between you two, right? So now, even on your own individual journeys, you meeting that person of your soul tribe is strengthening you, is giving you the strength to go and conquer these karmic lessons, right? So again, this goes back to what I was saying. Be careful who you're tapping into, you know? Be careful who you're tapping into when you're doing these readings and stuff like that. Because you don't want to get connected to somebody's karma in the worst way, you know? In the worst way. And that goes for people around you too. That goes for family, friends, or whatever. A lot of the times there will be people in your life that will block your blessings, literally. Like, and you wondering, like, do I have bad luck or something? Like, what the fuck is going on? It's because you attached to somebody who do. You attached to somebody who going through some karma. You attached to the wrong motherfuckers, right? And then people's like, well, that's my brother. Your brother is fucking your life up, okay? They are ruining your shit, okay? You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to literally, the birds of the same feather flock together. You need to find your flock, okay? And stick to it. Find your flock. And if that flock, you notice some of them, they got some feathers falling off, or them feathers don't match your feathers, you need to get the fuck on. You need to leave the nest. You need to go, okay? And that may be a message for somebody who's in this chat or will be. It's time to leave the nest. Yes, yes, yes. Prayer is important. When I tell you, I don't pull off in this car without praying, you know, for protection. You know, without checking in with Archangel Michael. Like, all right, you know, road dog, I need you to protect me. Please do. Protect me to and from home. You know, lead and guide my vehicle. Put a spiritual shield around my vehicle wherever I go, around me, my mind, body, spirit, and soul. You know, especially when you know you going out, you about to be around a lot of crowds and people. And as an empath, me, highly super sensitive, I pick up on energy like it's nobody's business, right? I suddenly and it might seem like a fucking mood swing. I'm good, I'm chilling. As soon as I'm sitting next to somebody, you know, that's sick or like just ill-willed and, you know, just low, you know, my energy will shift, my energy will change, you know, and you got to recognize when it's yours and somebody else's. And you got to shake that shit off and make sure that you protecting and cleansing your energy as well. You know, these bracelets are not just for decoration. They're not just to look pretty. You know, these are actual stones that carry energies and vibrations that alter and shape and shift your energy, your auric field. You know, you have some that are for protection. I advise everybody to wear protection bracelets, you know, or crystals or jewelry, whatever you do. You know, put it in your car, wear it on your body, in your home. Like, use the tools that, you know, are at your fingertips. If you're going to get on this journey, you gotta put on your armor. You gotta put on your armor. You gotta strap up. Just period. When you decide to get on this journey, just know, like I said, there are spiritual watchers, spiritual spies. You know, the people that are around you that have been harboring these little low vibrational demons and shit, like, they get activated. They get active, okay? They get froggy. Okay, when you decide, and even if you ain't tell nobody, right, and you get on this path and in this journey, and it's something that you've committed to, you know, just watch how the people around you will start to change. Some will change for the better and some will change for the worse. You will literally start to see people's true colors, and that's why it's so important to protect your energy. It gets to a point where you can no longer look at people for face value. You know, you have to understand that everything is spiritual. It is, right? So when you evolve to that point of discernment and just knowing when to be in something and when to get the fuck out, it's like you always gonna slip through the motherfucking cracks. It's like these motherfuckers gonna be trying to grasp you. You just slipping through their motherfucking fingers. Like, ugh. Why can't I get their ass? You know, why can't I attack their ass? You know, why is my spell working? My projection's not working. Like, you get these motherfuckers mad. They get mad. That's when they start acting out, right? I was just talking about leaving the nest. Ari, you come in, okay? You need to leave the nest, Ari. Is it almost that time? Is it almost that time? Or Hadiza, was that a message for you? Is it that time? I think you were talking to me about college too at some point. It's time to leave the nest, girl. somebody needs, so it may not, I mean, this message may not even be just for, you know, younger people, teens, whatever. This is for anybody. If you are in a certain dynamic, a family, a group of people that do not resonate with you, you cannot have the same conversations with them. Y'all don't think alike. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, there's no similarities there. Y'all just grew apart. You know, it's time to leave the nest, okay? It's time to leave that group of people. It's time to cut off that group of friends. Like, it is what it is. On this spiritual journey, your circles are going to change, just period. And it gets lonely. It does. It does. You will be isolated, okay? God will isolate you to work on you, right? To help you heal from certain traumas and shit like that. Like, you will have moments of just being alone, but know that you are not, you may feel lonely, but you're never alone. You're gonna feel lonely, but you are never alone, okay? I can't tell y'all how amazing it is being like a medium and able to communicate with a family that is unseen, you know? Like, of course I see them sometimes, you know, but majority of it is me hearing, you know, because I'm very clairaudient, right? And it's like having a connection, having like a bunch of best friends around you, you know, and they call them imaginary friends when you're younger. No, everybody is assigned spirit guides. Everybody has guardian angels. You know, sometimes it's in the form of loved ones that once walked this earth in the same lifetime as you, and they've chosen to take over and be a guide to you, you know, in the spirit realm. Like, you have family around you. They're always with you, literally. Always with you. And that's just like one of the greatest gifts possible when you get on this journey and you tap into your gifts and you can communicate with the family that you could never see or feel or hear before, but now you do, right? That's one of like the greatest gifts of elevating on this journey, realizing that you were never alone, realizing that everything was predestined, everything was planned out, everything was written, you know, before it happened, literally written in stone. You know, you have karmic contracts before you come down here. On those contracts are your life purposes, the people that you're gonna have relationships with, have children with, build businesses with, you know, people that you're gonna meet that are here to, you know, they have a purpose too, to kill, steal, and destroy. Don't think that these dark energies, yeah, we like to vanquish them and we like to dismiss them, but a lot of the times they are working on our behalf too. When you elevate to a certain point in your journey, the demons and like the dark energies that are sent and directed your way, they will pick a side, right? They gonna choose your side. You know, it's like, we can't beat them, we might as well motherfucking join them, okay? So a lot of the times these little spell works and shit that people in your family and close to you be throwing at you, it don't work because they don't understand like who you are in the spirit realm. They don't understand who you are spiritually. They don't know how strong you are spiritually. They don't know your title in the spirit realm and how much respect and protection you have because of the work that you've done on yourself and the commitment that you've made to the Most High. They don't know this when they're directing this to you, right? So these energies now are being introduced to you, and it's like, oh shit, I don't want no problems. I don't want no motherfucking smoke. I don't want no smoke. I don't. What you need me to do? What do you need me to do? Okay. And what'll happen is this so-called spell work and shit will backfire on people like a motherfucker. They'll backfire because these energies gonna get mad, right? They gonna get mad because it's like, motherfucker, why would you send us over there to get killed? Why would you set us up like that? Why? You didn't tell us that this is who we were going to attack. You didn't tell us that we were going to be attacking a chosen one. You know? Like, it's like, I don't want no beef. Let's just be friends and let's get this motherfucker over here. Like, you know, and it's like the same demons and energies and spirits and all that they was sending towards you is now haunting their ass. Is now attacking their ass. is now chasing them around the motherfucking room. You know what I'm saying? They having nightmares and shit and getting sick and all types of shit. Aging quickly, you know, and losing their hair and all types. Everything that person tried to wish on you was happening to them, and they don't even realize it. They wake up and look in the fucking mirror one day and they don't even recognize themselves anymore. By then it's too motherfucking late. You done sold your soul to the devil. By then it is too motherfucking late. It's only but so many times you gonna keep sending that shit to somebody, especially a chosen one, an earth angel, before you subliminally, you don't even know. That's the thing. These people have no idea. They think that they can do spell work in the closet and go to church the next day on Sunday and be redeemed. No, that's not how this works. That is not how this works. You know, as soon as you go ahead and you send that motherfucking intention to kill, steal, or destroy from somebody else's life, you're selling your soul to the devil. Just period. You've sold your soul. Thank you for signing your contract away. That's what people don't understand. That's what people don't understand. And this is why I say a lot of people about to be dropping like flies. What? You said tarot? A part of what? What I just said? Oh yeah, you ain't supposed to be like, there are people that use tarot to look into other people's lives so that they can be a hindrance, so that they can sabotage people. Literally, you have cross watchers and people who gang stalk in the tarot community so that they know what type of magic to throw at you to keep you from getting what is deserving, what you're deserving of, your blessings and shit like that. They try to like interfere on certain things. Yeah, you go ahead and commit to that low vibration. Go ahead and commit to that dark energy and watch how that dark energy commit to fucking your life up. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't go into this shit seeking to get details and shit on other people so that you can fuck them over. You know, when you go into tarot, when you're doing any type of divination, spiritual work, whatever, do it for yourself. Do it for your motherfucking self, okay? When you go in and you seeking answers and knowledge, go in with the intentions to seek this clarity so that you can change for you. Don't go in and try to get clarity so you can change somebody else's perspective or force them to believe something, you know, or manipulate them into doing something different to please your ego. No. No, 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 no. You cannot go into this shit. You cannot go into divination with ego. Just period. You can't. You cannot operate from your ego when you're doing divination. You cannot. You cannot. Just period. It's too low of a vibration, right? And what you put out, you get back. You know, you can't play them type of games. You cannot. It's all motherfucking fun and games until somebody gets hurt. Just period. Okay? So what will happen though, God, he got a sense of humor, okay? And this is why it's like certain things take time to play out, because it's not just you getting your karmic justice, it's the people who sent those intentions towards you. They have to learn the lesson before they can be dealt with, right? So when this karma hits them, they know what they're getting it for. So what will happen is, you know, I like to use this example because it's true. You know, you go through a breakup, you break up with somebody, and they always say, oh, the person that jumped in the relationship the quickest is the one that fucked over in the relationship. Yeah, don't try to change nobody. You can't force nothing on nobody. You can't force nobody to love you. You can't force nobody to see your value. You know, you can't force anyone's free will, just period. You cannot. That is against universal motherfucking law. You can't do it, just period, right? So, and that's a big key difference, right, between religion and spirituality. You know, in religion, they give you these universal laws, and well, I mean, I can only speak for Christianity, but, you know, they give you these 10 commandments, you know, and then they give you in the Bible these different experiences of different individuals that have walked this path and have gone through karmic lessons, and God has taught them and have ministered to them, you know, and getting them to get on a better path. That's really all the Bible is. They're different books and chapters of people who have lived this life and have been through karmic lessons, have learned from their mistakes, and have received their karmic justice by taking a different path or a different approach to their journey, right? Finding and seeking God, right? But the entire time, God never left or forsaken them, right? I'm not going to get too deep into that, but what I was backtracking off of was like, you got to understand, when you're on this spiritual journey, there are other laws, there are other commandments, you know, that you have to abide by as well. The universe has laws, right? It's not just that book that got commandments and got rules, you know, the instructions of living on earth, you know, before you die and shit like that. You know, that's very small and minuscule, and it's just like, it's nowhere near, the power that is above and below us. You know what I'm saying? Like, the power that is within us, you know, like universal law, that's something that you cannot fuck with. And one of that is fucking with someone's free will. You just period. You can't do that shit. You can't go and tamper with somebody else's life and think that shit gonna be okay. You can't go and say, oh God, I don't want this life. Let me go whip this up and let's just swap, you know, let me just swap with this person, you know, or let me just take this person out. Let me just go ahead and sacrifice them so I can live a better life because, you know, I'm ungrateful, you know, and spoiled and egotistical and hateful. You know, it don't work like that. It don't work like that. You know, you force anything to happen for you in life, you're gonna lose it. Just period. Whether it happened now, today, 10 years from now. You said any more about the changes coming this year to the 3D? I mean, oh, that was nasty, sorry. I slept under the fan the other night and I woke up with like, yeah, okay, anyway. 3D changes. So what I was picking up on earlier, right? So they just told me food shortage, right? And I had a download with God about, you know, this food shortage. You know, it's something that came up, you know, right before the pandemic hit too. It was like all through like the spiritual world. Don't call it gunk, Jasmine. But it was all like over the spiritual world and the communities on YouTube and stuff like that. Oh, the food shortage is coming, and you know, prepare, whatever. And what I realized the other day, this download I got, it wasn't gonna literally be like, okay, there's no food. The food shortage is in the form of this what do you call it? I forgot the damn word for it. You know, with just the prices of shit going up, inflation. Yeah, the food shortage is the inflation that's happening right now, right? People cannot afford to buy groceries and shit no more. People cannot afford to live like a balanced lifestyle. Like, it is so expensive to choose like the high road when it comes to eating and shit now. And I mean, that's the plan, right? Is to force us into a corner, force us into, you know, submitting to a lifestyle that is against, you know, what was always destined for us, you know, to live from the earth and stuff like that. Like, they're tampering with our vegetables, our fruits, like everything. Like, the food shortage is the food that was here, you know, from nature's womb, nature's bounty, is shortening. Like, nothing is real anymore. Everything is fake. Everything is meant to kill us. Everything is like lab made and tested and all types of shit. Like, nothing is real or natural anymore. Like, that's the food shortage. The food we was always supposed to eat, you know? Like, everything that's in these fucking supermarkets and shit now is tampered with. It's not even real fucking food no more, right? You must be living, you have to live like on like farmland or on a ranch, or you literally have to grow your own food, plant your own seeds and shit like that, harvest it yourself to be getting the real thing. That's what's crazy. That's the fucking food shortage. The food shortage and what they're putting in our bodies and what they're giving to us in these grocery stores and shit is more expensive now, because not only are they yeah, you can't even go get real fruit no more. Not only are they raising the prices to so-called get us to pay back this money from the fucking pandemic, they're raising the prices because everything is fucking man-made and lab-made now, right? So we paying the motherfuckers back for killing us. We paying the motherfuckers to kill us. That's what it is. And it's like, no wonder, you know, all these motherfucking diseases and plagues is out here now. Viruses, stomach viruses and shit. All that shit. It's in the food. It's in the motherfucking food, okay? You know, we are in a shortage of real food. You know, when shit like this comes to the scene, to the surface, you really have to read between the lines, because these motherfuckers are tricky. Tricky, 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 tricky. These motherfuckers, they are the first scammers, okay? The first fucking scammers, okay? Fraudulent behavior, just period. You know? So this is what I'm saying. When I get like fully established, and you know, I like finally buy my own property, you know, invest in my own property, like, and I'm a homeowner, I need to have a motherfucking big ass backyard where I can have my own garden. I can grow my own fruits and vegetables and shit. I can plant my own herbs. You know, like, I just want to be completely free from the fucking system, just period. Just period. Like, and if I plan to live like a healthier lifestyle and reprogram and rebuild this genetic code for my children and children's children, it's gonna have to start with what we consuming and putting in our bodies. Just period. Just period. Like, we going back to the olden days. We going back to the old times, you know. And I feel like it's perfect timing too, because there's a lot of people that are waking up right now, getting on this journey and realizing it's a lot of bullshit going on, okay? It's a lot of fuck shit going on. All right. And one of those things being the food that they're presenting to us and stuff. Like, the United States, the food here is trash. Like, complete garbage, you know, and we know this, and we still eat it, you know. We still eat it, even when we think we're being balanced and in moderation, is still fucking us up, like, low-key. You know, that's why you pray over your food, right? That is the reason why prayer is so fucking important, okay? Pray over your food. Literally. Because who the fuck knows is in that shit, yo? Who the fuck knows? And that's why fasting is so beneficial too, because, you know, you're flushing out all that bullshit that's attacking your cells, you know. This food is cancerous, you know. It's made to override our systems, override our genetic code. That's what's happening when, you know, someone is encountering cancerous cells, right? They're being attacked. You know, the cells that are, you know, meant to protect us and protect our immune systems, that are our front line of defense, are being attacked by whatever it is that they're injecting and putting in these foods or whatever. You know, it's like they're injecting a specimen in these foods, and that specimen goes in and attacks our bodily systems, right? And it becomes so repetitive, so redundant, to the point where our now cells start to mimic and mock and become that specimen. That specimen then grows and grows and grows and grows until it completely shuts down everything in our body. You know, that's what cancer is, right? And it's being purposely put in our foods, like, purposely, you know. Crazy, yo. It's really crazy. Like, the way, you know, the world has just become, you know. Yeah, one way or another. I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna get you, get you, get you. Yeah, one way or another. That's what the system is made to do. Kill, steal, and destroy. You know? Kill, steal, and destroy. Right? And this is why I also say, like, being a mystic allows you access to so much more universal knowledge and history, you know. When you do your research and you do a history check on where we come from. Exactly. Exactly. That's why, getting on this journey and elevating and shit is important. It's important to stay focused on, just evolving on this journey, because it literally becomes your defense. It's like you build a barrier up. Your energetic field will build a barrier up against certain things. Your body will start to become allergic to certain things that you weren't allergic to. It will reject low vibrational shit. Yeah, it's like a crystalline, invisible crystalline force that's being built around you and within you now, right? You have some individuals that can eat bullshit, complete bullshit, and be the happy, healthiest person walking. You know what I'm saying? It's because they built up that spiritual barrier. You know what I'm saying? They live a high vibrational life. You know, it's certain things that certain people can tap into and deal with and indulge in that the next person cannot, right? And it's for a reason. We have to break down that old coding and rebuild it, remaster it, recreate it. And it starts with our lifestyle. It starts spiritually and physically. You are a healer. You are a healer. Everybody is. In some point of your journey, you're gonna realize that once you make the decision to love yourself and focus on self-love and recovery, you become a healer. The fact that you can heal yourself, you are a healer, right? And when you make a commitment to doing that, you then can become a force to be reckoned with, right? And you then can heal other people, right? You become powerful. That's what you access the power that's always been within thee, because I am that I am. We are gods and goddesses in training, right? We come with energy. We come with power. We come with gifts. It's just unlocking them and tapping into them. On this journey, as you elevate, you access certain keys. You're allowed to go through certain doors, right? This is not a journey that you can rush, right? This is a journey that is eternal. It didn't begin or end with this lifetime. It began way like in the beginning of time, when we were just fucking stardust, when we didn't even have a human vessel, you know? So just know that everyone is capable of ascending, and each lifetime is up to us to choose to do so or not. It's up to us to, continue to repeat the same patterns over and over, or choose to change. You can deny your gifts. You can be in denial, but at some point or another, it's gonna haunt you. It's gonna become your life. Everything around you is gonna remind you of it, right? I tried to do that. When I got on this journey, it was something. So this is the thing, right? When I was a child, it was very apparent to me that something was off, and not like, oh, something like mentally, whatever, but like I just knew that I was seeing things other people weren't seeing. I was hearing things other people weren't hearing and shit like that, and it's like, okay, you're a kid. It gets passed off like, okay, you're just a kid. You got a big imagination. You got imaginary friends. Like, don't take her seriously. That type of thing. We tend to do that to our kids, That's something else that I want to reprogram. But I didn't have a space really to feel accepted when I was going through that. So eventually, as you get older and you start to learn the ways of the world, and you start to then consume the projections of other people, those gifts will go dormant. It's like your memory kind of like blocks out, but in a sense, it's also protecting you as well. As you're coming up in this world, God will put a defense, system around you, especially if he knows that a certain part of your life, like it's in your purpose to become like a mystic healer or to be a high priestess and stuff like that. Your gifts will go in dormancy so that you can experience these karmic lessons without being traumatized by, the memories of your past lives, because that's really where our like psychic abilities and shit have descended from. It's descended from the ancestors that was us at some point, you know. We are our own ancestors, you know, and these gifts get passed down from lifetime to lifetime, from bloodline to bloodline, you know. So it was at a point where mines went into dormancy, because I was too young to understand, and I didn't have the space to be accepted and to be taught up and raised up with these gifts. But it came back. It came back when my crown chakra bust the fuck open. Okay, and it decided to bust the fuck open when I was in college, you know. And a lot of people will experience that, like around your teen years, or like around like your early 20s is usually when that activation will take place, if it is in your divine path to be like a teacher of some kind, you know, a healer. Like this is you, this is what you do, okay? And mine's bust the fuck open when I was 19. Had I turned 19 yet? No, 18. I hadn't turned 19. I was 18 and I was in college, and that's when I went through my dark night of the soul. And it's like all of my gifts from when I was a child that I completely forgot about, completely detached from, came all rushing back in. And I tell you, it was complete hell. It was complete motherfucking hell, okay? Because just imagine you going to motherfucking college and you trying to like fit in and be normal and shit, and all of a sudden you're getting spiritually attacked and you're having these nightmares and you're seeing all of these dark things, you know? Because when you get activated like that, it's also activating all of your fears and all of that. Look, because it starts from your base. You got to remember that. Like this journey, it's like you start from your root, you start from your base, and it's an energy that works its way up, right? So they call that like a Kundalini awakening, right? So I went through a Kundalini awakening that day. I remember the day like it was yesterday, y'all. And it was literally, it was like all I could remember was one moment I was walking straight. You know, I was getting off an elevator. I was in one of the dorms at my college. I was getting off of the elevator and I heard this loud fucking clap. It was like a just loud as fucking, it echoed and it rang in my motherfucking ear as if somebody was ringing a bell. Like, okay, activate. Holy Spirit, activate. I got off that motherfucking elevator. The room started to turn. And I know this sounds wild, y'all, but I'm giving y'all what happened for me. The room literally started to turn upside down, like I was in that fucking movie with a Leonardo DiCaprio, you know, and I forgot what it's called, but you know, when they can like walk on walls and shit, and it was like turning and shit. Yeah, that's what was happening to me. And it was like I was having blackout moments, right? So I was walking, I think it's called Inception, Jasmine. Yeah, that's the best way I can, that's what was happening. The fucking room was turning and twisting and shit. And I was with someone, you know, I was with my ex at the time. And it was like I was having these little blackouts. So I didn't know that I had walked from the elevator to his dorm room. Like, and I remember I looked at it and I was like, how did we get here? When did we get here? And he was like, what are you talking about? We walked to the room. I was like, I don't remember walking over here. And I remember like I was bumping into the wall and shit. And he was like, you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Now, mind you, we did smoke, you know? So I'm thinking, is this something in his weed? Like, I started tripping, you know? I was like asking him, I was really concerned. I'm like, he's like, Khalil, we smoked the same shit. What are you talking about? Like, if you got laced, I got laced, okay? Like, and I was like, no, you need to call whoever gave you that shit, because something's happening to me right now and I don't know what it is. I was literally freaking out. I thought I had lost my mind. I literally thought that I was gonna have to be in a mental hospital, y'all. Got in the room, didn't know how I got in the room, and then it was like my thoughts started to lag. So say I'm looking at you, right? And I said, I'm going to the store. It's like the image of you would, how can I fucking explain this? It's like the moment would lag. So it's like, okay, you're speeding up and you've already like 5 seconds ahead, but my memory, my mind is 5 seconds behind. I don't know how to fucking explain it. It's like, it's so wild ass shit. And I was telling him, I said, it's like everything I'm saying and doing is lapsing, you know? It's like I wasn't operating in real time anymore. I was operating on another time. Like, it was so weird. And I'm so happy that I had someone with me who was not judgmental, you know, was very patient with me. Because anybody else in that room would have thought I was losing my fucking mind. Like, and I thought I was losing my mind. And I started to see colors and I started to see auras. Like, I saw his aura and I saw energy coming from my body, from my hands. It was like everything was just being activated. And literally, y'all, I saw wings coming from my motherfucking back. I remember this day like it was literally fucking 24 hours ago. And I felt the heat on my back, yo. I felt it. It was hot. And I told him, I said, I'm hot. Like, I feel this heat running up my back. And I could see wings. Like, in my mind's eye, I saw wings coming out of my back, y'all. And I saw energy shooting from it. And I held his hand. I said, look, I can see it's like electricity coming from my hand to yours. And he was like, what does it look like? And I was like, it's orange and red colors, like circling, like coming from my hand to yours, you know? It was crazy. And I remember I dropped down to my knees because it was like an overwhelming amount of like empathy and compassion just poured through me. It was like my heart chakra bust open. And I started to cry for children. I started to cry for children who were sick and mentally ill, right? And I was like, I don't know, like, this must be miserable. I was literally bawling my eyes out. I was like, you know, all the kids that are sick and they can't help themselves and nobody understands them and they don't have help. And like, I was going through it, yo. And I was crying for children. I was crying for women, for children. You know, I started to cry and like empathy for the world. Like, it was a lot, y'all. You know, and I was still freaking out, and I ended up calling like my grandmother because she mentioned something similar to me. She said that when she was around that age, the same thing happened to her. So I called her, you know, and it was slightly disappointing because even though she had told me her experience, in that moment she made me feel like I was tripping, you know, like, no, that's not what's happening to you. Like, you must have just smoked some bad shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm like, I know I'm not crazy. Like, this sounds like what you told me. This sounds like, you know, when you said that your gifts were activated and, you know, you had psychic hearing and shit like that. Like, that's what was happening to me. I had reached a certain age or a certain point in my journey where everything was being activated at one time. You know, and I kind of felt let down, you know, but everything happens for a reason, right? Because it was then after that point that I then had to start to isolate myself because I'm like, people are going to think I'm fucking crazy. Like, people are going to think I've lost it, right? And that's when the journey began, right? So that day, no, I didn't reject it. I kept seeking knowledge. And in every single moment of this journey, I seek God as well. I dropped down to my knees and I prayed. I dropped down. I didn't know what else to do, y'all. I was going through it. I was crying and I was praying and I was like, God, please help me. What is happening to me? What is happening to me? You know, like, I really thought that my life was over. I thought my life was over. It was. The old version of me died that day. Literally. I died that day and came back a new version of myself, okay? I came back, you know, with just I guess a new way of being. Like, I stepped outside, you know, because I was like, okay, maybe I need some fresh air. I stepped outside, y'all, and I looked up in the sky, literally, and it was like my mind went to the stars. Like, it was like my eyes zoomed in on the motherfucking sky, and I started just out loud just asking questions, all these questions, like, I wonder what's up there, and like, we're so small compared to the rest of the universe, and, you know, talking about the planets and the stars and the trees look different. I was walking around on my college campus and I'm like, it's like the trees are talking to me. Like the colors were more vibrant, you know? It was like I was in a different fucking realm or some shit. Oh, like literally even today, like I know my vision is different from other people. Literally. The way that I communicate with nature is out of this world, you know? And that was one of the first things I realized the next day after that happened. You know, after I had that Kundalini awakening, and I didn't even know what it was called. So this is where the journey begins, right? You start to research, you know, YouTube became my Google. And I was like putting in all my symptoms and shit. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And why did I experience that and that? And I started like getting sick and all types of shit. Like I was going through the motions. And, you know, certain titles like Dark Night of the Soul came up, and, you know, chakras, what are your 7 chakras, and what is a spiritual awakening, what is a Kundalini experience, what is an outer body experience. Like I just started going down this rabbit hole, y'all. Just down deep into this fucking rabbit hole until I actually started to experience the things that I was learning. You know, one of the first being lucid dreaming and outer body experiences. Y'all, I was time traveling like a motherfucker. I was like, my spirit would get up out my motherfucking body and go somewhere else and come back and lay down like nothing happened, okay? Yeah, that's why, and this is why even today, I still have so much like empathy towards people who have kind of surrendered to that label of like depression. And not to say that it's not a thing, it is, because I've experienced deep depression myself, you know, but it's still a mindset, it's still an energy, you know. It's something that you can reject. You don't have to sit in that energy. You don't have to accept that over your life, over yourself, nothing. You can fight that energy off, literally, you know, and you have to commit to doing it. You know, like it was very tough. When I was going through early on in my journey, it was very, very tough. I was being psychically attacked and more shit. Like all of my fears, all of my traumas, everything came to the surface. And sometimes it came to in the form of like, you know, demonic energies and shit that would haunt me. Literally, like it was like people. Sometimes I would look at people and I would see the demons in people. You know, even today I still do, you know, but I remember specifically, not to say that this person is like that, but I was laying next to my ex at the time. I was in his dorm, and yeah, at night, and I looked at him. He was sleeping and I was dreaming, but it was like one of those lucid dreams. So it was like everything was happening as if it really would happen. You know, it was like we were in the same room, we were in the same bed. You know, it didn't feel like I was dreaming. I looked at him and he looked like a fucking monster. He had like worms and shit coming out of his eyes. You know, his face was sunken in, like he had shit coming out his mouth, his teeth was off. He looked like a fucking like a zombie, yo. It scared the living hell out of me. Like, and I woke up and I was screaming. And he was like, "What's wrong with you? What's going on?" And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I just saw, yo. I don't know what the fuck I just saw. I've seen motherfucking extraterrestrial aliens and some more shit, y'all. Like, when I tell you, I done seen some shit. I done seen some shit, y'all. Like, and I tell you, my saving grace was my faith, was God, was me calling on Archangel Michael. And I tell you, Archangel Michael been my road dog since I was little. Like, I still have memories of me calling on him when my gifts were activated when I was young. And that's all I knew. That's all I fucking knew. And even though I was like in a really religious based household and I knew Jesus and stuff like that, it just always felt so comforting to call on Archangel Michael, you know. And I always, you know, kind of figured that maybe he's one of my, you know, guardian angels and spirit guides, because I work so closely with him, like so closely with him. He's like my best fucking friend in spirit, literally. And always has been. Like, I've always like leaned on him when I was a child and I was afraid and scared, you know, of the things I would see and hear and feel in the dark and shit. Like, So it was like I was back to Archangel Raphael. Now, I worked with Raphael very, very closely as I got older, when I got into a relationship and, just start going through adulting and different changes and stuff. Like, he helped me hold on to my inner child for sure. Reminded me of certain things. He comforted me. He was a huge catalyst in my heart chakra awakening and healing and shit like that. Like, it was Raphael and Michael. It was just me and them. You know what I'm saying? So just holding on to your faith and knowing that this journey is not rainbows and, flowers and shit. Is not. When you get on this path, when you get on this journey, you're going to experience some shit that might scare you. Literally. But everything that you're seeing and feeling is a representation of the dark stuck energy that is within you, that you carried into this lifetime, right? It's like you're getting flashbacks and reminders of the karma that you carried into this lifetime, you know? And when you start to recognize, okay, this is what I need to work on, that's where the karmic lessons begin. That's when you're now in school. School is in session. God sends you on these different tests, He, gives you objectives. He gives you instructions, right? He makes you come face to face with your fears and certain things that bring up emotions in you and shit. And you be fighting against, you're going to find yourself resisting and fighting it. Like, no, God, I don't want to address this right now. This be me. That be me, literally. I be ignoring the fuck out. I don't want to address this right now. Can we try this again another day? Like, I'm just not in it. But then, it'll come to a point where it's like in your face, and then all of a sudden you just bawling your eyes out, or you're just angry and screaming at God, and you're like, why? Why? I didn't want to face this, I didn't want to accept this. I didn't want to take accountability. But that's a big part of this journey is humbling yourself, having humility, before God, like admitting, like, yeah, I'm fucked up. I'm fucked up, but I need you. Like, I can't tell y'all how many times I've gone to God and I'm like, I cannot do this on my own. I literally cannot do this by myself. I need you on this journey with me. Like, you have to surrender completely. You cannot commit to this journey and try to be in control of the journey at the same time. It don't work like that. It don't. So I've been in some situations, y'all, where it's like, to other people, they would have felt like they back was against the motherfucking wall. But me, I be chilling. I be chilling like a motherfucker. And that's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of people are not going to understand you. You're not going to agree with your decisions. They may think you're irresponsible and you don't have your shit together and you don't know what you're doing with your life. Like, you're going to get those naysayers, yeah. But it's not for you to clap back. It's not for you to get in defense. It's not your fight to fight. It's not your battle. It's God's at the end of the day. So those people are being tested. You're not doing anything but just following instruction and being obedient and trying to be a good, upright, stand-up person on this journey. You minding your motherfucking business, right? But to other people, it's going to look like you have no type of control. You know what I'm saying? And that's the energy of this journey. It's very much like sporadic and random and spontaneous. You're going to be on a roller coaster ride of emotions on a spiritual journey. Let me just say that. Walking this walk with God, building a relationship with God it's a roller coaster ride of emotion and change. Like, you're going to be shaken up. You're going to be going down drops and dips and everything. And you never see it coming. That's the crazy part. Like, I can tell y'all, it's been times I've broken down and cried because I was afraid of what was to come. Not because of, like fear, like things are going to go wrong. I was afraid of what's to come because I know the magnitude in which God blesses me. I know how he operates, He's a God of surprise, okay? He is the master of surprise, okay? Let me tell you that. He gonna get you when you least fucking expect it. And I feel it when it come, right? I feel the energy, I feel it. And I always say, for anybody that's close to me and know me, like, you'll hear me say, like, I feel something coming. It feel like a shift is here. I said, I feel the shift. I don't know what it is or where it's coming from, but it's coming. And then it hits like a fucking weight train. And I'm like, oh my gosh. You didn't tell me this was what was coming. God never gonna tell you the whole thing. Even as a reader myself, even as a reader, no matter how many readings you get, you will never have the full pieces of the puzzle. It don't work like that, right? God will fucking twist and turn that shit around. He will flip that shit on you so fucking bad, but so good. You ain't gonna be able to do shit but to laugh. You ain't gonna be able to do shit but to motherfucking laugh, yo. And that's literally what I be doing. When God reveals to me what he's been working on and he finally lets it go and it's like exposed, I'm either crying or laughing. I'm either crying or laughing or both, okay? Because it's like he knew the whole time what you needed. And he always shows up and gives you more than what you need. Always. Especially if you are deserving of it and you've been patient and you've been praying, you know, you've been working on yourself, he gonna always give you more than enough. Just period. More than enough. So when certain things happen and it's like in a situation where everybody else may have counted me out or everybody else may have thought what the outcome was going to be for me because they think, you know, oh, she don't know what she's doing, or, you know, it's just being on this journey and me being a mystic, my energy can be very aloof, you know, and unpredictable. And I also move in silence. You know, that's something that you guys need to practice, moving in silence. Don't tell everybody your business, okay? Only the people that you know will support you and, you know, nurture you on this journey as well. But remain humble and also remain silent, you know, about what you got going on. When God do bless you, remain humble, okay? And when God bless you, also give back to other people. You know, bless somebody else. Every time you bless somebody else, just period. You got some knowledge, you know something, teach somebody else. Tell somebody. Literally, you know. Share with your neighbor, you know. Like, never think that you're too good to be humbled out here in these streets, okay? Never think that everything that you have today, you know, can't be taken away from you, you know? And that even goes for, you know, spiritual healers and shit. Don't think that these gifts can't be taken from you too. Just like they was given, they can be taken, they can be revoked, okay? Especially if you are abusing your power and shit like that, or you're not stepping into your purpose. Oh yeah, he gonna take them back, okay? And he gonna give it to somebody that is gonna make use of it, that is gonna do what they supposed to do with it. You know what I'm saying? And that's literally what be happening in these little family dynamics and shit. You know, because we've evolved from a point where spirituality used to be such a secret. You know, having these gifts and shit and magic and all that used to be so secretive. It was like lockdown security, you know, like you were just singled out if you said something. It was like hush hush. Now we're in a time where it's accepted, it's acceptable, you know. People, you know, are coming out the closet like, yeah, you know, I have gifts too, you know, me too, you know, we're one of us. Like it's a Me Too movement now with spirituality. And it's like you have to be able to focus on this journey too, you know, because you could get caught up in being on a bandwagon and trying to look a certain way in this spiritual community or whatever, and you forget the whole purpose of the reason you on this journey, right? And you losing that focus, God gonna check your ass a couple times before he take these gifts. He gonna check you like, listen here, I didn't give you this for no reason, you know. And a lot of you don't think that gifts is just, oh, psychic abilities. No, God gives us gifts in different forms. He gives us different talents and abilities, you know, that is unique for you and you only, right? For some of you, it's just an example. You could be a motherfucking singer, right? You could probably sing your ass off, and you decide to settle for a fucking 9-to-5 government job that you're not happy in or whatever because you think pursuing a singing or a music career is not realistic and it's not going to pay the bills and nobody's going to believe in you. Fuck what everybody else think. Believe in your goddamn self, okay? If you know you got something, you got a gift that you've been hiding from the rest of the fucking world, that is your gift. You know you good at that shit? That is your gift. What are you doing? What are you doing? Okay, you got some people who are just intelligent as fuck, fucking brainiacs. They know how to add up shit and It's like they were born fucking mathematicians and accountants and shit like that, but they dim their light. You know, they try to dumb themselves down around their circle and shit like that. The whole time, you may be a financial leader. You may be able to lead and teach groups of people around the world how to balance their finances and shit. You know, you have people who are like mentors and they do webinars about like crypto and saving and shit like that. Like managing your money, bills, expenses. Like there are different people for different reasons, but it's like when you learn what your gift is, you step fully into it, you commit to it, and you have to come out about it. You have to let it be known, because you never know how your gift is going to impact someone else. You know, and a lot of the times when we discover our gifts and we're practicing, you know, and we're making it a intentional, it becomes intentional to practice your gift, you then become a teacher, right? So a lot, let's say, you know, back to the mathematician, right? Somebody who was super smart as a kid, knew all their times tables by the time they was 2. You know what I'm saying? That type of brainiac type of motherfucker, right? You know, they could have skipped school or, you know, skipped grades, but they decided to stay in one grade at a time and shit like that. They've dumbed themselves down. They've dimmed their light, you know, to fit in and shit like that. And then all of a sudden you find out that you're not happy, or you're in a depression, and now you don't feel like you belong anywhere. Why? Because you're not letting it be known, like, yeah, I'm a motherfucking brainiac. Yeah, I like numbers. Yeah, I like money. I like to add and subtract motherfucking shit, okay? You know, and I can read you to fucking filth, okay? Like, it be that person that everybody counted out because they spent most of their life hiding their gift. They spent most of their life hiding their intelligence so that they would be accepted, because they cared so much about what other people thought. You know, I know I was watching a show yesterday, and a commercial ad came on, and it was an ad, and it was these parents, and they had a very, very smart child. I mean, this could be a message for somebody that's gonna come across this. They had a small child that was super, super intelligent. This was a commercial, y'all, but I be paying attention to shit. And the dad was like, telling the little boy, like, you can't be smart like that. You know, when you're too intelligent, it makes people uncomfortable. And I said, I'll be motherfucking damn. Because that's fact. You know what I'm saying? When you are highly gifted in something, it makes people uncomfortable, right? It makes them feel insecure. It makes them feel like they're not enough, you know, or they did not get chosen. Like, everybody has a gift. It's something, everybody has something that they do that can contribute to the world in some way, shape, or form. You just have to figure out what that is and commit to it, just period. You know, so back to like that analogy, that little boy, that his parent told him when he was a child, oh no, you can't be smart. You can't, no one can know that you're this intelligent because you're going to make people uncomfortable. That's something that was programmed in him when he was a child. So now growing up, he's masked his gift. You know what I'm saying? And now he's starting to believe the lie that he's told himself his entire life. You know what I'm saying? And now it goes, he's telling himself he's not as educated as everyone around him. And now he might be surrounded by a lot of educated people, a lot of smart motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? And he thinks that he doesn't fit into that crowd because he's not worthy enough because of what he was told growing up. I know this is like kind of far-fetched, y'all, but like, bear with me. I feel like I'm talking to someone very specific right now. And whoever I'm talking to, it's time for you to come out of hiding. It's time for you to come out of hiding, because I know what that feels like too. You know, I know what it feels like to know that you may very well be the smartest person in the room. You might very well be very different, you know, from your peers and shit like that. But you're supposed to be, you know, you're supposed to be. When I was in school, I was very, very intelligent, and I dimmed my light. I would dim my light and I would dumb myself down to have conversations with my friends and, you know, talk about what's trendy or what's this and what's that. You know, I wanted to fit in so bad, because at any moment in time where a glimpse of my gift would show, I would be taunted or bullied for it, you know? And sometimes your first bullies start in the home, you know, and maybe that's why that commercial stood out to me like that. A lot of the times our first bullies are in our own households, you know. It be our own people, our own family, our own friends that put us down before we can even be lifted up, before we even have the opportunity to acknowledge, like, ooh, I am amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow, I'm talented. Wow, I matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we get on this journey, you know, and by the time we're adults, it's very difficult for us to find ourselves in this world. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. It's very difficult to find ourselves, you know, or we end up getting on this journey of self-discovery very late, you know. That self-discovery begins when you're a child, but all too quickly our purity is stripped from us, you know, our imagination, our creativity is stripped from us, you know, because we're surrounded by adults who carry the same, like, issues that we are dealing with as adults now. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything is a projection, you know. And I was reading, what is that book I was reading? It's called the Four Agreements by Miguel Ruiz. The Four Agreements by Miguel Ruiz. And in that book, he was saying how he was talking about parenthood and shit, and how we live our lives based off of how our parents lived and what they believed and shit like that. And before you know it, you know, it feels like it's too late for us to try again, you know. We think we get to a certain age and it's like, okay, I remember, you know, this is something that I enjoyed, you know, as a child, but it's too late for me now. I can't pick that back up. I can't, you know, or people are scared to dive into something because now you're programmed to listen to what other people think because it started in your home. It started with your parenting. It started with, you know, the way that you were brought up, raised up. You were raised to be a follower. That's crazy. And what do you hear all the time when you grow up? Don't be a follower. Be a leader, not a follower. That's something your parents, be a leader, not a follower. But your parent was a follower, and their parent was a follower, and their parent was a follower. This is where you break the curse, you break it, right? You say, no, I'm gonna lead, and you lead by leading your life by the callings of your heart, by taking control of this will, taking control of your life, and now operating from a higher consciousness and becoming satisfied with who you are. You know what I'm saying? Becoming comfortable with who you are, becoming comfortable with the path that you're on, and owning that shit. Not looking to the left or the right for someone to answer, you know, these questions that you have, but looking above you. You know what I'm saying? Looking within you. You know, the answers that you're seeking are within you because you're the blueprint. You are the blueprint. The things that you love and desire and shit, it ain't there for no reason. It's not. So if something keeps pulling at your motherfucking heartstrings over and over, it keeps coming to the surface of your mind, right? When you daydream, when you drift off, and that is what you are imagining, you see yourself in this place, in this time. Think, where do you go? When you let your mind go, where do you go? And ask yourself, are the manifestations and the daydreams and the things that you're seeing, does it match up to the life that you're living? You know, are you that person that you envision, you know, when you're drifting off into your thoughts and shit like that? You know, because I can confidently say today that the young woman that I was daydreaming and envisioning maybe 3 or 4 years ago is who I would just stop. Maybe. Maybe that's what it was, y'all. I was giving away too many gems. They was like, save some for later, okay? We're gonna save some for the book. We're gonna save some for the course, okay? I can't be giving away everything. Okay, but thank you guys so much for like tuning in and always just giving me the floor to just speak, you know, freely and openly, you know, about this journey. Just period, you know. Can y'all see me? Am I back? Am I back? Okay. Let me know. Oh, it's going in and out. I don't know. I wonder if it's because it's not in the sun. I'm sure it'll pick back up. That's crazy. It like disconnected when that car went by. It's crazy. But yeah, y'all, like I could literally go on for hours and hours and hours. I'm not going to. But I'm open to answering any questions you guys have now. I know I missed, our chit chats and stuff too. I missed our chit chats and stuff. Like, y'all, I'm just trying to like just build, like I love doing this. I literally love like this entire chat has been just me being in my element, and so many times I tend to reject this, and it's like, okay, me, I'm supposed to be doing this, you know what I'm saying? Like, and this is still very small compared to, I'm sure, what God has in store for me, I know I'm supposed to be like a teacher of some kind, and I'm already it, but it's just building up that mental strength and knowing that I'm worthy of it, and I watch a lot of different teachers and stuff, people who like travel the world and speak in front of like thousands of people, and I'm like, God, that's supposed to be me one day. Like, what? He used to show me in dreams when I was a little girl, and what's crazy is I always had like a fear of like I had stage fright real bad, but me, I've always been fearless. That's the crazy part. I've always been fearless but scary as hell at the same time. So I would throw myself in situations where I would like have to face my fears, So me, when I was younger, I was always in something in school. So even with me having stage fright, I was in the fucking spelling bee, I threw myself into the fucking spelling bee and I took it serious. I committed it to it. And I tell you, I got up on that motherfucking stage and I was spelling them words out, but I was shaking the entire time. I tell you, I was sweating, I was shaking on the verge of tears and everything, but I still did it. High school, I threw myself into modeling. Like, I didn't even know how to walk in heels or whatever, but I still did it anyway. And stage fright, all of that, having to walk in front of hundreds of people, in my school gymnasium on a runway, like, I'm always just trying to tackle my fears, and it be in the worst way most of the time. It be in the worst way. This YouTube is one of those things. This YouTube is one of those things I've thrown myself into because I'm like, God keeps showing me little glimpses of my future for a reason. And if I want to get there, then I'm going to have to face these fears. I'm going to have to put myself out there, whether I like it or not. Because at the end of the day, you still got to remember, this is not about you. It's not. It's not about you. It's bigger than you. Okay? The gift that is you is meant to impact other people in some way. So if you're hiding yourself away and, not just taking life by the fucking horns, then in some way, shape, or form, like, you're letting down so many other people. You're letting down a nation of people who are waiting for you to show up. So this is why I think that I've developed such a love for getting on here on YouTube and just talking. Like, it's not even like about the views or anything no more. Like, if I can impact one person, if I've impacted one person on this live today, I've done my job. I've done my motherfucking job. I did it. Thank the Lord. Thank y'all for showing up. I'm out. I did my part, okay? Yeah, I had a problem with public speaking. When I tell you, I used to shake, like, and with me, it shows. Like, I turn beet red, my voice will start shaking, like, I'll start sweating, like, literally, I hated presenting in school, any type of project or whatever, like, Man, I would literally take control. I would do the whole project myself just so that somebody else in my group could present. Literally. That's the exchange I used to make. I will write up everything. I will build the project. I'll create the board. I would do it all, y'all. As long as somebody else presents this daggone project. Like, because I cannot do it. I remember I was in college, y'all, and it was a group project that was due, and it was graded as like a final, test. That's how heavy the weight of the grade was, and it was like everybody had to show up. If one person wasn't there, it was points that were going to be deducted. Everybody was pretty much going to suffer. Everybody was going to get the same grade. My ass, because I was trying to be responsible in college, and I was on birth control and shit. I went 2 days before the final, before I had to present. I drove 2.5 hours to my doctor's office that was in Delaware at the time. So I was going to school in Maryland, but I still had a doctor in Delaware because I transferred schools. I was going to school initially in Delaware. So that's where my OBGYN was. I drove 2.5 hours just to get a note from my OBGYN that I was there to get an annual and get administered my motherfucking birth control and shit. Just so I would have a doctor's note to excuse me from presenting to excuse me from presenting that motherfucking project in front of maybe only 20 to 30 students in that class. Like, that was it. You know what I'm saying? Then look at me today. I'm on this motherfucking platform talking in front of who knows how many, like I checked my analytics the other day and I have almost 50,000 views on my channel. 50,000 people have come across my fucking face. Like, how? You know what I'm saying? Like, how am I the person that I am today? When did it happen? Because I know who I used to be. And that's what I'm saying. I done went through a lot of ego deaths. I am not the same person that I was 5 years ago. I'm not the same person that I was yesterday. Okay? Like, literally, you just have to throw yourself into that shit. Just period. You just got to throw yourself, face your fears, get it over with. Because on the other side of that goddamn fear is all of your dreams coming the fuck true. And doing this YouTube was one of those things. I used to sit when I was going to work, and I used to work at Wawa, for years. And I would take the train to DC like every single morning. I'd get up 4 o'clock in the morning every day, like busting my ass. And on that train, I used to just envision me doing what I'm doing today. Like, envision me how I look today, how I speak today, how I walk today, like how I live, like everything that I am today. I envisioned it. It was a thought first. And I think back when I was on that train and I used to just drift off and just look out the fucking window and be in a completely different world, not realizing I was manifesting a better version of myself. I didn't want to be where I was in that present point in time. I wanted to be someone else. I wanted to be something else. I always dreamed big, prayed big, and I never knew how it was going to happen. I never knew when it would happen. I never knew if it would ever happen. But my peace of mind was when I drifted off and I would envision myself having everything I ever wanted and more. And this is still just the beginning. We just getting motherfucking started, okay? We just getting started, right? But I can say that today I am proud of myself, and you have to tell yourself that too. You have to give yourself grace. You have to, because I could sit back now and I can laugh at myself for being so fucking scary. I can look back and be like, oh my gosh, what the fuck was I afraid of? But the thing is, I still haven't tested this theory. And that's what I feel like God is getting ready to do. He getting ready to really show me how much I've grown, because getting on here, getting on live in front of you guys, that's one thing. But it's another thing to stand in front of a crowd and speak. That's a completely different thing, and I feel like my confidence has definitely grown. Like, I could walk in a room with my head high now and not give a fuck, but it's now like, okay, well, how would I do if I had to publicly speak in front of a bunch of people, in the physical, you know what I'm saying? Like, And that's one thing that I feel like he's getting ready to test me on. I just don't know how or when or how it would even happen. How would I even end up in a situation like that? I don't know. You know, hopefully it's just something that happens gradually and he just doesn't like smack my ass with it and I have like no choice, because I would be fucking petrified probably. You know, I'm like the antisocial social person, you know, like I sometimes people give me anxiety, literally. Sometimes people bring me anxiety. You know, I realize I actually do love people. I used to say, oh, I hate people, I don't like people. No, I actually do love people. I am a people person. I'm very easy to talk to. I can make friends with anyone. I can have a conversation with anyone, you know, but because I'm so sensitive in my energy, it brings me anxiety to be around a lot of motherfuckers. And it brings me anxiety. You said how that work? I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it the fuck out. It's like I'm an introvert, but I'm also an extrovert, you know? Like I'm a selective like introvert, if that makes sense. Or like it depends on the day. I guess it just depends on the motherfucking day. I don't know. Cause some days I want to be around people and some days I don't, you know? Like I just can't do it. And then some days when I go around people, I regret it, you know, the next day because I'm super drained and tired. An antisocial social person, yes. That's me. That's me. And maybe it's the Virgo in me. I don't know. I have a Virgo North Node. But I'm also a Sag and a Leo rising, you know, so it's like I'm constantly like going back and forth between wanting to be social and not, you know, like I have an Aquarius moon for one, you know, they're like I don't know how to fucking explain it. Like Aquarius are very social people. They are, but they're very, I can't even put a, they're very, I don't want to say weird because weird is not a bad thing, but like they be in their own fucking worlds, y'all. And that's me. I be in my own motherfucking world. When I tell y'all, I be so happy by my motherfucking self. I be looking forward to being fucking alone. Like I swear to y'all. That's why I be in my car so damn much. Because I like being in my own company, literally. I don't need people around me, but I need people because I'm human, you know? I need people, but I don't need people, if you get what I'm saying. Like, I've become so content with just being with myself, you know? Like, I don't know, you know? I don't know. But the Leo in me, like, draws attention. You know, my Leo rising draws attention. I tend to pull people in, you know, I tend to be a magnet. So it's like, even if I wanted to be in my own little world, in my own corner, I couldn't. I really just couldn't. And then the Sag in me loves conversation, you know. So if we having a good conversation, just know we're going to be talking for hours. We're going to be talking for fucking hours. That's why it's good to get to know yourself. Get to know your chart and shit like that, because it'll make perfect sense. I promise. I promise. Like, it just depends on the day, I guess. It depends on the transit. It depends on where the planet's at and shit. But 9 times out of 10, I'm home. I'm a homebody, you know. But when I'm ready to party, I definitely have a great time. I know how to have fun. You're going to have fun when you're with me. Like, I like to make the people around me feel comfortable, you know. So a lot, if you going out with me, it's going to be me. Hey, you okay? You all right? Like, how you feeling? Like, what you want to do? You know, like I'm fully invested in you, you know, and I'm also watching the room. I'm reading the room. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm the one that like kind of sounds the whistle off, you know? My intuition will tell me, okay, let's go over here. Or my intuition will say, oh no, it's time to get the fuck up out of here. It's time to go. You know, something's about to go down. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a good host. Like, I'm the right person to be with, you know? When you going out and you doing some spontaneous shit, call me. You want to do some spontaneous, call me. I'm with it. I'm with it. And I'm going to let you know, whether this is a go or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's been times where certain friends have made plans with me and you know I'm with it, and I'll just get like a feeling in my motherfucking gut that say don't go, do not motherfucking go. And I tell you, I'd never ignore my intuition. I don't. Mm-mm. I'm not ignoring my intuition. I'm not. That voice, when it tell me once, it ain't got to tell me twice. And it's been times where I have canceled plans, or I myself have not gone, and something like horrible has happened, and thank God, my friends were safe from it. But just one time in particular, right? I was supposed to be carpooling, get in the car with one of my friends to go to Baltimore one time for like this big like backyard party or whatever. And I was fully dressed, everything, ready to meet up with them and everything. And my intuition was saying, like, don't go, do not go. And it got to the point where I was going back and forth for the longest. I ended up being late. I ended up being late to meet up with them because we were all going in one car. And my friend, she has other friends that aren't my friends, so I was knowing them through her. And she's like, they're meeting you for the first time. This is like such a bad impression, and you got us running late and shit like that, and they waiting on me and I'm waiting on you. Like, what's going on? Like, you're super inconsiderate and selfish and blah blah. Like, it was a whole argument. And I'm like, yeah, my intuition said no. It's just like, what the fuck do you mean your intuition? Like, I need you to answer me. Like, what is going on? And I'm like, I can't tell you. I really can't. It's not that I'm hiding anything from you. It's not. It's just a feeling. I can't explain it no other way. And me and her actually end up like falling out because of that. And come to find out on the fucking news the next day, it was a whole ass shootout in fucking Baltimore. It was 12 people that got fucking shot. And sometimes it may not always be like tailored to that group or setting of people. Sometimes it's tailored to a whole environment, So I was picking up on the vibration of what was going to go down that night in that environment, in that city, in that town. So that told me, it don't go, But luckily, my group of friends, they were safe. And who knows, me delaying them from going could have saved their lives. You know what I'm saying? Like, not every delay is a delay. Sometimes a delay is literally saving you from something, that you don't see coming. Right? So those moments, I don't even stress out over shit I can't control no more, because I'm like, if it was supposed to be, it would be. If I was supposed to have left the house already, I would have left by now, Those moments where all of a sudden you can't find your house keys and your phone goes missing, and it just seemed like little petty shit is keeping you from moving forward. That's the universe. That's your spirit guides and shit slowing you down to help you avoid certain shit. You don't even know it. Or, your navigation all of a sudden trips up, and now it takes you 10 extra minutes to get to where you're going, not knowing that you just avoided a bad accident that happened on that highway. Like, it's certain shit like that. You got to have gratitude for everything, okay? Everything. It's been times where it's taken me so long to get out the house, and I get on a road to get to my destination, and I've driven past like a horrible accident. Accidents that may have just happened too. You know what I'm saying? But had I been in that intersection maybe 3 seconds earlier, that would have been me. It'd be shit like that. Like, and we tend to ignore or not even like pay attention to the way that God is also always looking out for us in some way, shape, or form. We so quick to look at the things that we don't have, that we don't appreciate what's right in front of us, or the little blessings, the little miracles that happen for us every single day. Pulling up to the motherfucking Target, and you got a parking space right at the fucking front. Thank God. Oh my gosh, I did not have to walk. Okay, it's little tiny miracles. I'm moving it because the sun is like shining, shining. Yeah. But yeah, y'all. Hold on. Yeah. I could go on forever. And I'm not going to. I know I said that probably about 10 minutes ago. But I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up, y'all. Thank you to everybody who tuned in. Thank you to everybody who liked the video. Thank you for chilling with me. I don't know. I'm gonna keep doing these chit chats. I'm gonna still get y'all readings out and stuff. Oh yeah. Yeah. Some people don't have no patience. Patience is key on this journey too, okay? Because you're not operating from your timing. You're operating on God's timing too, And when you commit to this journey and you are aware now that you have a team around you, right? You now have a spiritual team, a family that's around you, right? Oh, you like the chats more? Oh, you know, when I moved, I thought, you know, I would be kind of giving up those type of videos, but I like it too, you know. I like it too, and who knows where it'll go. Um, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. But it's healing. It's something that I need. It's something that you guys may need, and yeah, I may do these like once a week. You know, maybe I'll make it a thing I do on Wednesdays. What's today? Wednesday? Yeah, because usually by Wednesday I have like the readings out, you know, and then maybe Thursday will be like love readings, and then on Friday I'll release the weekend read, and then I won't see you guys again until Monday. I'm trying to come up with a schedule. I'm trying to come up with a schedule that works, but the goal right now is just to be consistent, you know, and continue to just do what I do best, okay? But thank you guys so much for your support. Oh, before you guys go, I changed my booking website. I know y'all sick of me, but I realized that Squarespace just wasn't doing it for me. You know, it was just too much. It was too much, too many moving parts. And the new link that I have is a lot better. It's a lot better. What's on your mind Wednesdays? Okay, yeah. But yeah, I have a new scheduling link, y'all. So I put it under like the last maybe 20 videos that I did. That's as far back as I went. I changed the link. So if you guys want a personal reading, you know, you go ahead book with me in that new link in the description box. And yeah, we could go from there. Love you guys. I will see you in the next video. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.